Okay, here we are again. Excuse me, let me move the mic again real quick. Hold on. See, the thing that always makes all the noise is there's a little knob on the mic arm that I use, the stand that I use, and the knob. The microphone must pick up the vibrations from when I unlock it, because it doesn't make much like outward noise, but probably along the arm of the thing, like you can kind of hear it go ka-dung, and it must like reverberate through the microphone arm stand to like make a lot of noise on the microphone. I don't know why. Picks up on the vibrations. It's like an earthquake detector or something. Guys, my doctor's office gonna call me every single day until I go to the doctor's. Like, I know I have an appointment, guys. I don't need to be reminded every single day of the week. Please, thank you. Anyway, yeah, so we will get ready, and then we'll get started in a minute. Let me just get my notes open. I forgot about those again. Not that I particularly need them, at least not right now. Like, I'm trying to think, like, I think I know, I know the rest of the snow cavern, like the back of my hand, like Joseph does, so I'm not super concerned about that. Kashuan Keep I'm pretty familiar with, and then the dungeon after that I'm sort of familiar with. I'm just trying to think if there's any point to me opening up a map in the background. I guess I could. Just do it on my phone. Well, no, I should do it on the computer itself, because that'll be easier to see. Hold on. Now, you know what? If I need the map, I'll open it up at the time that I need it. How about that? See how much of this game I can get through without a map to guide me. Where we're going, we're gonna need roads, because I don't have a map to make my own. But I do have frostbite from standing here for 24 straight hours, so that's neat, I guess. Guy, please cast fire. I'm dying over here. How you doing, everybody? I'm even colder now because I'm in the water. Welcome back to Final Fantasy II, the Stream Edition. We're still in the Snow Cavern. We did about half of it last time, a little less than. And today we're going to head to the lower floors, so that way we can try to procure the Goddess's Bell from its resting place. So that is the plan, and that is what we will go do. I did remember in between streams that I'd like to possibly have Guy and Firion get their weapon levels up a little bit. So, excuse me, I'm going to try to get them working on those from the back row. Mostly Guy. It's not even really Firion that I'm all that concerned about, but Guy's unarmed level, if I remember correctly, and if I don't get lucky with drops going forward, because we actually need the first of our spells that we need to actually have drop from an enemy pretty soon. If we don't get lucky with it, then we might be in a little bit of a tricky spot in the next dungeon for the next boss, because it's a little bit of a weird one. I can talk about it a little bit more when we get there. I don't even know if Joseph is going to get anything out of attacking 4 times. I don't remember if these guys are rank 2 or not. But I guess it's worth doing anyway, just for the hell of it. Just in case he does. Like, I think he's already at bow level 5, so if these guys are rank 2, he'll get weapon experience, but if they're not, then I don't think he will. But we'll see. Well, Firion got an agility level. Joseph got a bow level and some strength, so I guess it was worth the try. So, alright, level 5 for you guys soon enough there. We want to work on agility, though, for Firion and Guy, even though they're, at the moment they're in the back row. We do want to work on it for them, because if the game is like what I think it is, where the chance of you getting a preemptive strike is based on party agility, having high agility, or at least moderate agility on everybody, will still come in handy for us. So that is the plan. And Joseph, your strength is going up pretty good. Got you level 6 bows. You're not quite where Maria's at with their axes, but You're doing pretty great, all things considered. What, no treasure at the end of this icy moat for me? I'm disappointed. Alright. How do we want to do this? So I want you to clear that guy out. You two can keep going after these balloons. And we'll have you guys attack 4 times. And then you'll get your weapon levels up. I think, actually, I mentioned before, I think I wanted them to be at level 6 with their weapons, but I think I actually want them to get closer to, like, I think level 7 would actually be preferable, because that'll give them... I'm trying to determine it based on the amount of evasion that they'll get from their shields with each level, combined with the amount of evasion that they just have at base with all of their armor, and... I think 7 would give them a little bit better evasion. Like, they'd be able to hit 99% evasion, unlike if they did it without, in which case they wouldn't, so... Alright, I think we just... actually, no, let's not do that, because I want to guarantee that they get their turn off, so let's defend this turn. See, this is why I like this version the best, because defend is just such a nice option sometimes to have, just in case you're like, okay, well... I don't want anybody else to do anything that'll accidentally kill these enemies, and when you're focusing really hard on a specific type of character, like a melee character, where all they do is kill enemies, it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm stuck, but in other versions. But not in this version. In this version, it's like, okay, well, I don't actually want you to do anything this turn. You can just defend. You don't have to do anything this turn. It's all good, so... We're back over 10,000 gil already. That's pretty nice. You get a lot of gil from going through this dungeon. And then if you go outside, you get even more from the Snowcraft minigame, which I hope I remember this. I do have to talk a little bit more about the Snowcraft minigame, excuse me, when we get out of here, because there's a little more nuance to it than I was making it seem like last time, so I'll talk about it when we get a little bit further. Let's see if we can get a cure off, and then... So these are dual heads. They're not considered undead, so just kind of use whatever works for you. But they are one of the few enemies in this game, at least I don't think they're considered undead. I think their cousins are, but not them specifically. We can look in the bestiary if we want, but they're one of the few enemies in the game that is weak to body elemental spells. So if you have Silence, it will work on them more than it would on other enemies. That being said, they have no MP and don't cast any spells, and you don't have any other body elemental spells at this point in the game, so it doesn't really do much for you. But it's there, I guess. I think their cousins might also be weak to body, but since they're considered undead, it doesn't matter because you just cast life on them, and that's the most effective strategy. So, this floor is very similar to the basement second floor of Cement Falls, where you kind of just go to the top left corner and then weeble-wobble your way down to the bottom right corner, and then you'll be good. So, if you did that before, you can do it again, and it will be just as effective this time as it was last time. So, I think I want to work on Blink and Shell a little bit. We can work on Life some more if we find any more undead enemies, but I think I want to work on those a little bit. So let's work on those while we're thinking about it. You don't have any magic, and you never will, so we won't have to worry about that. So I could get Protect for Joseph, but he doesn't really need it because he's not going to be in the front row, so we'll never need to tank with it. And there is one other spell that I could get for him, but it's not necessary at this point because he's hitting hard enough to kill the enemies anyway, so like I don't think it's really all that much of a necessity for him, if I'm honest. So, yeah, why don't you just... Whoever gets it, gets it. It's Maria, that's fine. She has the Bloodlust, she has the axe, so I gotta imagine she would have the Bloodlust. Like, I mean, you consider the amount of gil I just got there from that fight. That's like 500 gil per fight. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at this point in the game. That's half an ether. That will definitely do it for you. So, alright, well, we'll keep this up. And then you can just defend, it's fine. Hopefully, Guy doesn't go before Farian, that's good. You can kind of skew the turn order a little bit by having certain characters equip heavier armor. I think I mentioned this previously, but I don't know. I've never found that to be particularly useful in this game. It's a little more useful in Final Fantasy Legend 2 because you can kind of skew your agility in such a way that you have your healer just never get agility because they just don't focus on it. And then if you do that, then they'll always move last in a turn, and that'll make it a lot easier for them to just heal off the damage. And since there's a lot of damage going out in Final Fantasy Legend 2, it's really nice to do it that way. So, do I blink or do I life? I think I life, because life is the lower level of the 2 spells, so we'll do that. We'll do a fire, and then, I guess I attack this thing in case Furion misses. I like how I assumed that was how the turn order was going to go when I had no guarantee that that was how it was going to go, and then it just went that way anyway. It's nice when a plan comes together, even when it's unplanned. We've been collecting up some treasure, by the way, but it's nothing particularly that I care about. This door is fake. Yeah, I mean, the Mithril Spear is nice if you haven't bought a Mithril Spear by this point, but, you know, it's not something that I'm concerned with. There is a character that we're going to get in our party eventually that I want to use spears too, actually, but for now, I'm not really too concerned about it, you know. So we'll just keep going. You guys are vulnerable to thunder, so let's have Guy use thunder, since it's one of the few times he'll have a chance to. Hell, at the rate we're going, we're going to have the Firaga Blizzaga Thundaga spells before Guy gets his next actual spell. Doing it pretty solid on our levels for our black magic at this point. Sometimes I forget just how quickly you rack up the spell experience in this game. It gets pretty nuts after a while. Do I have you attack again? I think I'm going to try to do that just so I can kind of fish. We still have plenty of ethers, and we've only got a couple floors to go, so I'm going to try to fish for some MP gains while I have the extra ethers to spare. Joseph's bow level at this point is good enough to where I'm not really concerned about it for anymore. Like, level 6 for him is plenty, so. Okay, there's an MP increase. There's another MP increase. Perfect! We are all ahead full. You'll have 60 MP the next time you get an increase, and you will have 62. That is fantastic. That is perfect. One more life and you'll be level 3. One more blink at level 4. We can work on Shell after that. Teleports halfway to 5. Things are coming up Millhouse, let me tell you what. Although I think I want to use a couple of ethers at this point, so maybe we should go do that. Okay, so we have 3 more heals before the end of the dungeon. That should be fine. But as you can see, we're not getting as much from the ethers now because our MP is a little higher. You can influence the MP that you get a little bit if you use the ethers in battle rather than outside of battle, though. So I might have to start doing that. And just waste a couple of turns using ethers, but that's okay. Like, it's not like we have so much to do in a battle in so little time that I'm concerned about our ability to do it. All right, listen, I'm going to try to avoid the water as much as I can. I'm done freezing my nuts off here. It's too much for me at this point. We've got just enough of the dungeon left to go to where I feel like I need to, like, not take a chill pill, because that's what I'm doing this whole dungeon, but, you know, the opposite of that. All right, Firion got the blink off. Good. That should mean it'll get to level 4 after this. Get the thunder going. Bring down the thunder. Send that mine to the grenade, not a mine. Mine is the higher level of the ones. There's like multiple palette swaps in this game, so there's like balloons, grenades, mines, bombs. I think there's one other one after that as well, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe I'm thinking of Soul of Rebirth. I don't know. But that door is fake as well, so don't go in that one. Here's a Mithril Shield. That, actually, I did want to grab because we'll need that in a little bit for a party member that we're going to get after we're done in Snow Cavern, because, well, once Joseph is done guiding us through this place, like, we can't ask him to stay after that. He has a family to protect, you know? Like, we gotta let him go home and take care of them, so we can't just, okay, Joseph, come along with us on our adventure to destroy the Empire. Like, that's asking a little too much of him. Gotta let him go home and live in peace, you know? So that's what we'll let him do. Just keep dodging, Maria. That's how we know it's all working out. Get some extra agility out of that potentially as well. Not this time, maybe a different time. Okay, so there's another chest below us there, but we have to go around this ice wall in order to get to it. So let's do that. We'll hug this wall. We'll go to the right in a few minutes, but we'll follow this little section of water here because it'll get us to where we need to go. So, yeah, let's just get the life spell going. We'll let everybody else stand pat for this one. See if life works. If it doesn't, then we'll just go ham next round. Bye! Ooh, life is Life is starting to get pretty good. I guess in this case, literally and figuratively. It's level 3 now, so it'll be even more effective in at later points. And in a couple of battles, Maria should get an HP increase, and then we can use that to as an excuse to heal ourselves up. So we'll do that. Yeah, this party's working pretty good, all things considered. We got good damage, we got instant death access, we got weaknesses we can exploit. Our weapon damage is pretty good. Granted, bosses are still going to be a bit of a problem because unless they have an elemental weakness, we'll be hitting for piddly damage, but we'll attempt to fix that over time. Where is that chest anyway? Ah, here it is. Okay. So there's an ancient sword in this chest. It's one of the most important pieces of gear in the game if you're not planning on using the curse spell, and if you have a sword user in your party. I fall into neither of the above categories, so it's not as important for me, but it's also a monster in a box, so we might as well just take care of it. Ambushed? Too bad Maria is a dodge tank. Alright, well, we've got an excuse to use some more life here, so let's just do that. And then some more fire. Send these guys back to the grave. And then we'll be good to go. Bye! I don't even have to look at how much damage that did to you. I knew that killed you about 10 times over. It's a single target fire spell on an undead guy. Like, nope, you ain't coming back from that. That one dodged the life spell, but that's okay. Actually, I probably should have just cast that on the shadow behind him, honestly. Because that thing, I think, has less magic defense than the ghoul does. Let's give it a shot. It'll get Farion more even with Guy's MP anyway, so... Okay, fine. You don't want to go down to that, then you get the axe. Like you did this to yourself, man. I will smash your bones to pieces if I have to. But the reason why the Ancient Sword is a pretty good piece of gear is because it has the chance to inflict the Curse status ailment on enemies. And at the moment, you don't have access to Curse. And what Curse does is it lowers the opponent's attack and defense by, I think, 20 each? Might be a little more than that. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'd have to look up the exact numbers. But it's a pretty decent-sized amount, and it'll open them up for some attacks from you that otherwise you wouldn't be able to really attack them with because you just wouldn't have the damage. Here's the problem, though, is that it has... okay, so like with our Mithril Knife... Now, granted, we don't have any levels in a sword, so I can't really use this as a fair comparison. But with the level 5 and the knife, we have 78% accuracy. If I was to equip that Ancient Sword, we'd get an attack boost, but take a look at the accuracy. Yeah, 21% chance, because it has a 0% accuracy bonus. Like, that's not really all that helpful. Now, granted, this Mithril Knife has, like... Okay, so 21 to 78, so that's like, what, 57% extra accuracy? Now, some of that is me having a little bit of extra strength, but, like, the difference is palpable, as you can see. Like, the Ancient Sword, because it doesn't offer any accuracy, it's very inaccurate, so it's not exactly the most reliable thing on the face of the planet. It'll work if you have a dedicated sword user, but for me, personally, it's not really going to do any justice for us. It's just going to kind of end up sitting in our inventory for a while, anyway. I don't know if I'll ever find a use for it, personally, but it's a very good sword, so just take my word for it and use it yourself, if you'd like to see what I mean. It definitely helps against the next boss, not the one in this dungeon, but the one in the next dungeon, though. It, like, makes that boss not a major pain in the ass, so definitely use it if you, want to give it a shot. Is Maria gonna get to... yeah, her dedicated HP increase, her natural one just happened there. So now I have an excuse to actually heal everybody with Cure, so I will do that. She also got some strength somewhere along the line. She got more agility from that fight, so that's good. Very good, very good. And I feel like everybody else is doing pretty good in their departments as well. So we'll heal in the next fight. What I might actually do is I might have Maria or Joseph throw an ether while we're at it. But there won't be any fights in this room because this is the town room of the Snow Cavern. And it's a town of beavers. Giant beavers at that. Hello. What are you guys all doing here? Is this your natural habitat away from humanity? Nice to meet you too. What's up, guy? Oh, okay. Well, fair enough then. This is what I meant when I said earlier that Guy shows through cutscene power that he is the most intelligent person in the party. He's bilingual, first of all, and second of all, you'll notice over the course of several boss fights that he is instantly perceptive as to what the enemies are going to try to do to us. So, because he speaks Beaver, we can now see what the Beaver knows about the Goddess's Bell. So yeah, Guy should be your black mage because he's the most intelligent person in the party. Don't let the fact that he speaks in slightly broken English fool you. He's pretty damn intelligent. Okay, nice. Good work, Guy. Thank you, that's all we needed. So there's a secret passage right about here. Here it is, yep. And that will take us to the last floor of the Snow Cavern, where we can go all the way around the Winding Cavern to get to the Goddess's Bell. That's what we'll do. Let's see, why don't you throw an ether for Firion? You throw an ether for yourself. And then, Joseph, you take out one of the grenades. See if that heals a little more. Oh, yeah. That definitely healed a little bit more than outside of battle, where it was healing for 25 to 30 MP. So maybe we should start doing this more often. I think that might be affected by your intelligence or spirit, actually, because the fact that those healed for as much as they did... Well, actually, that wouldn't make that much sense, because Maria doesn't have that much intelligence or spirit. Then again, neither does Firion and Guy, so... Actually, no, maybe it does, because Maria's intelligence is about the same as Guy's intelligence, so... It does make me wonder which one affects it more, but... I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. Excuse me, we'll just sortie our way through these enemies and be done with it. I should probably cast Protect a couple more times before we're through here, because we've still got quite a bit of MP left relative to how much dungeon we have left, so... I mean, granted, I could just cast it out in the snowfields too, but we'll worry about that when we get back there. Alright, I'm thinking Shell, because Maria and Guy can sort through these guys pretty easily, so... Our killing power is off the charts at this point. It's kind of absurd. I probably should have cast Protect there as well and just let Guy and Joseph handle it, but I keep forgetting. It's not really a huge problem, though, because Protect is already good enough. Like, Maria's got, what, like 14 spirits, so if she gets all 4 levels of Protect, and I mean, she doesn't have a huge chance of doing that. It's only a 64% chance for each cast, but that's more often than not, so... You know, that should work out pretty good for us. So, I'll cast Protect this time, just for the hell of it. And then, we'll sort through you, and you. Send you to the X zone. And then send you to death, I guess. I mean, where else would you go after getting mauled by a bunch of arrows? Impaled, even. Okay, fire's level 5. That's good. We're at the highest level of Fyra that we can get. It'll be Fyraga at the next level. That's pretty nice. Uh-oh. I see a big guy that looks an awful lot like that land turtle we fought in the monster in the box. It's a good thing he's trapped by those stairs, so he can't actually fight me until I walk up to him. Yeah, you do that, you do that. Might as well just keep going with fire, it's working for us, so hey, why fix what ain't broken, right? You know what the funny thing is about teleport is it's only going to continue to get... to be as good as it is right now, because even though the enemy's magic defense will go up, my spirit will go up, and on top of that, the level of the spell will go up, so I'll be able to continue to just keep casting it over and over and over again. and getting it to the point where it can just kill things. I mean, granted, I've only been killing things one at a time with it, but like, that's still good enough. It's taking enemies out of the fight that could otherwise be a problem, so, you know, that's pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna save real quick, and then we'll confront the boss. I don't really think we need to do anything special with this one, honestly. Like, I'm not even sure if I'll get off all the things I want to get off, to be fair. Okay, well, let's see what it can do. It can jump me, that's what it can do. Ambushed? Still can't hit me, though. Alright, so we'll get Blink and Protect going. We probably won't need that all that badly, because this thing, despite being in the Snow Cavern, is weak to Blizzard, just like most of its other brethren. So we're just going to cast Blizzard about 2 times, and it should fall over dead, but, you know, we can at least get our buffs up before that happens, so we can get some experience. It's a rank 4 monster, if I remember correctly, so you should get some good experience out of this. Yeah, that's just about dead right there. Granted, again, it's a turtle, so, like, you're not going to get a whole ton of, like, weapon damage off on it, but, you know, you'll be able to get it otherwise, so. I mean, if you crit, you'll get some weapon damage off of it, but it won't be much. So. Might as well hit it to see if we can get some weapon experience for Joseph, though. And goodbye. See how much easier that was than the Sergeant? See how much more powerful we are? Oh my dear God. Okay, well, I knew he was dropping something because he didn't give me any gil. That's an endgame shield. That's a diamond shield. It's not quite endgame. It's like the second tier below an endgame shield, but you normally don't get one of these until... God, when do you get one of these? I feel like you get it when you get to the Mysidian Tower, but that's like 70% of the way through the game. I'll take it. Also sells for a pretty penny if you don't feel like using it, but I'm going to use it because on top of being better in terms of evasiveness, which will only help Maria, who is already almost at 99% evasion by herself, it also resists lightning elemental attacks, so it makes her resistant to them, so now they'll do half damage to her when she gets hit by lightning, which can be kind of nice, especially coming up when there are enemies, or rather, let me rephrase that, when there are enemies coming up that can cast Thunder 5 on us. So, yeah, that will help. 93% evasion with it equipped as well, so we got 9% extra evasion out of that. I will take it. So, not even bad. Alright, we got it. Thank you. And for defeating the Adamantoise, there's the Goddess's Bell. So now we can go open up Kashuan Keep and see if we can find Eagle's Torch, so we can take the Sunfire from the altar. And we also get a shortcut out of here by taking the bell off of the wall. The stairs pop down, and then this door, which we saw back on the first floor, is open. I believe, yeah, it's a one-way trip, though, so only go that way if you've grabbed all the treasure down below. Because otherwise you won't have access to the treasure anymore, so... Yeah, I think we should have enough MP to get us all the way back from here through the snowfields, so I think... Okay, that's just the treasure. I think I'll hold off on the ethers for now. If we can save them, that would be nice, because we'll obviously need them in the next dungeon, so... We'll just see what we can do about that. Okay, more life practice. Do one of those. We'll do some more fire, because it works pretty good. Doesn't quite work as well. Actually, no, it works better than that. It's about double the damage of that because they're weak to it. But, you know. And then send this last one to the Shadow Realm, and we're good. Spirit, strength, and HP. Not even bad. Keep getting that strength, Maria. That'll help you get your accuracy up. I think if I remember correctly, she only naturally needs to get to 19 strength, and then that'll be good enough for her for the rest of the game. She'll get more than that just because strength is pretty easy to raise when all you do is hit things with your sticks, but, you know, we only need to get to that amount, so I'm not really super concerned. I think I'll use this opportunity to cast Protect again, though, because we've still got 15 MP, so might as well, you know. Man, if hell wasn't so cold already, or wherever the X zone is, it's gonna be colder now because I keep sending all these icicles to it. Not exactly sending them to the ninth circle, I don't think, but... It'd be really funny, though, like, they haven't done this in a Final Fantasy game yet. If there was a spell that had that as its flavor text, there's more evasion for Maria. Okay, now we're just getting silly. Now she has 3 chances to dodge at a 93% chance. I should have done this front row shenanigans earlier. Oh well, it's fine, we're doing it now, so that's the point. Yeah, so it'd be really funny if there was like a spell that sent them, that had like that flavor text where it's like, sends them to another dimension, and then you go to that dimension later and all the enemies you sent there are just there. It could increase the encounter rate or something because you abused the spell too much. That sounds like some old school SMT sort of stuff. Maybe that shows where my sensibilities lie when it comes to designing video games. Maybe it shows why I like this game, because I'm a bit of a masochist. Borgin? What are you doing here? Well, no kidding. What'd you think? You were gonna get it by yourself? I'm pretty sure you did that to yourself, actually, man. Like, you didn't make the peasants work. Why would you think he would let you do that and get away with it for very long? Okay, why is that my problem? I mean, you could just join our cause. I mean, you betrayed all of us, but the princess is a forgiving sort. Or not. Okay, fair enough. So now we gotta fight Borgin as well. He's significantly easier than the Adamantoise. He's only got like 200 and something HP, so he'll probably just drop dead from a Thunder Spell and a bow attack, honestly. Like, it shouldn't take very long. Yeah, that's like half his HP right there, so... And he can't even hit Maria. Now, I want you to think about this, is the fact that she's got 3 chances to avoid at a 93% chance, and then Furion's adding on top of that, because every level of Blink that hits adds 1 to that left number. So if he hits 2 levels of that, it goes up to 4 and then 5. So then she has 5 chances to dodge, and it keeps going up. So the more evasion she keeps getting, the more ridiculous it's going to get. We'll get to the point where at the end game, she'll be able to dodge like 16 hits. It's kind of atrocious. So, yeah, you know what? You just give him the axe, Maria. There we go. Bye, Borgin. Cleaved him in 2. Got an agility boost while we were at it. Pretty good. Ow. Oh, wow, he was so weak that he gave me the temporary ability to walk on impassable walls. That's great. I mean, I'd like to think I've won. You seem to have the better dental health plan, considering your teeth, unless those are all wooden, but... Oh. How did you booby-track a snow cavern? Like, what kind of weird pickaxe technology did you use, or did you use dynamite or something? Okay. Like, what kind of booby traps could he possibly be talking about? Oh, that kind of booby trap. Oh god, run! Indiana Jones style! Get the hell out! It's too fast of a boulder, we're gonna die. Joseph, no! Yeah, but you can't hold that for... Maybe we should get out, because yeah, I was gonna say he can't hold that for very long. Come on, we gotta go! He's making a sacrifice for the cause! Oh, that's really, really gonna hurt in the morning. Ow! Yeah, those wounds aren't healable. Sorry, Joseph. Well, like I said, death is prevalent in this game, and that's another one that bites the dust. So now it's just the 3 of us again. Joseph takes all of his equipment with him as well, so... But honestly, where he's going, if he sees Borgin again, he might need it, so... Okay, well, we can't just sit here and mope, though. We gotta soldier on. He would have wanted us to do that, so we're gonna soldier on. The nuances I was talking about with the Snowcraft minigame, I'll talk about when we get a little closer to figurative dry land, if you know what I mean. Once we get out to the grasslands again. So, I feel like a couple of ethers would be good here. Actually, well, no, honestly, I don't think we should. Actually, I think I should do is I should probably put Furion and Guy in the front row now. because we've got enough evasion and everything else and damage from our weapon attacks to get back to town, even with our low MP totals. So I'll stick them in the front row for now, just so that way they have some opportunities to get some stuff out of this. So I'm not just cleaving through the enemies one at a time, which might help in Maria's case because she can get some weapon experience, but might as well let the guys help out too. What? No encounter even though the airship goes overhead? I usually get into an encounter shortly after the airship goes overhead, so sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm getting into an encounter. We're at level 5 teleport already? Holy hell, I'm gonna have to start working on... I'm gonna have to start working a little bit harder on the, whatchamacallit, that their shell, because it's starting to fall behind. I mean, I don't need shell that badly. It's, out of all the buffs, it's probably the least useful of them, but... Well, no, actually there's one more that we'll be getting in a little while that's only situationally useful, but it's situationally useful enough to where it'll actually come in handy for us later, so I'm still going to use it. Yeah, use that guy. We'll let Varian finish up, so that way we're all at relatively the same amount of MP, and then we can just whack them upside the head with our sticks until we get back to town. Ah, good, another MP increase. Perfect. I'll take it. Guy didn't get one, but that's okay, because him and Firion will just continue to get them the further up their levels go on their magic here, so that's good. And Guy's got all level 5... Okay, not all level 5, his Thunder's level 4, but mostly level 5 spells now, so he should be pretty well primed for some MP increases going forward, so I'm not really super concerned. Alright, let's pull the minigame back up again so I can talk about it a little bit. There we go. So, one thing that I noted last time is that the time actually doesn't matter. That's not actually true. Here's how it works. The reason why we were getting so much money last time is because of the fact that we were setting a new record for our times. So, like, because the times, we didn't have a time logged previously. The first time you complete the game at certain levels of misses, you'll get extra money because you set a quote-unquote new time record. So, the first time we got a 3-miss win, we got 10,000 gil. Normally you only get 5,000, but because we set a new time record, we got double the gil that we would normally get. It's the same at every single bracket, so if you got a 0-miss win, you would get double the gil you'd normally get. 1 miss, you double it. 2 miss, you double it. 7 and 8 miss, you double it. So it's actually worth it, if possible, to try to get 1 win in every miss bracket, so that way you get the maximum amount of gil out of it. I'm going to try to do that, although I might have to wait a little bit to do it because I don't know when it'll be most convenient for me to come back here and do it later. Like, it depends on where we end on today's stream. But I'll play the game since I'm already right here on the menu. I might as well. But, you know. So. Okay, I haven't seen Guy yet. I've seen you, though. What are we at, a 4-miss win? Alright, so I need to get to a 7-miss win. That's not a 7-miss win. But yeah, so see how I didn't set a new record? I got a 4-miss win again, but I only got 5,000 gil out of it. That wasn't a new personal record, so I only got the 5,000. But basically, the first time you complete it, you'll get double the money, and then every time you set a new time record after that, you'll get extra money. What I was trying to do there was I was trying to get errors so I'd get down to a 7-miss win, but I forgot where Guy was, so that's okay, though. Well, this is going to make it a little easier to get it because I've already got so many errors, but Firion was here. Haven't seen you yet. Maria was up here. No, she was down here. Guy was... Where was Guy? Okay. Well, we're at a 7-miss right now, so as long as we don't flub this too badly, and now we're at an 8-miss, so... And that's fine, because now we got our first 8-miss victory, which will get us 400 gil. Normally you'd get 200 in a high potion. The item rewards don't change, it's only the actual, like, gil amounts that change. So what I'm going to try to do, if I have time to do it in between streams this time and next time, is I'm going to try to come back here to the Snowcraft minigame, which will mean my stats will probably be a little bit different from the end of this stream and the beginning of the next one. I'm going to try to come back here, and I'm going to try to get the 0-miss win, the 1-miss win, the 2-miss win, and I think the 7-miss win was the other one that I need. The way that I'm going to get the 0 miss win, the 1 miss win, and the 2 miss wins, most likely, is I'm going to write down the first 3 puzzles, because they're in brackets of 32. So I'm going to write down the first 3 puzzles, like I'm going to do them. And then once I have them listed, like written down on a piece of paper or something, I can go back to them and then deliberately make 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, or 0 mistakes in order to maximize the amount of gil I get out of it. So. And I went back and looked at my really, really old notes from when I was going to make a strategy guide, like a GameFAQs FAQ for this. And I can't tell if my notes are correct or not, because my notes say that if you do the 0 miss win, you actually get 40,000 gil, but that's without accounting for the doubling. So that would mean that you would get 80,000 gil from doing a 0 miss win the very first time, because it doubles your money. And that seems excessive, but I'll be better able to tell all of you if that's correct or not by the time I get back, hopefully next time, because then I'll be able to, get that all done. If it's not next time, then it'll be the time after that, because we might not be in a convenient location next time to actually, get back to the snowcraft, but the time after that we will be in a convenient location to get back to the snowcraft, so I'm not super concerned about it. It's probably at this point in the game, by the way, that you have enough agility if you've been following along and, keeping shields on. You'll probably be able to run from a good chunk of rank 1 monsters at this point, because fleeing is something you can actually do fairly reliably if your agility's high enough in this game, but I usually fight them anyway because their gil is good for me. I mean, have a good way of getting gil that's very consistent without needing to actually kill any of these guys, but at the same time, it's free money, basically. All I gotta do is click attack, Okay, way to take out the back row, guys. That'll make it a little easier for us, so they won't attack us as much. Okay. Should get us some decent money. Yeah, 326. That's not too bad at all. Maybe one more encounter before we get back to Salamand. I mean, we've got to tell the villagers what happened to Joseph, but, Maybe after we take a nap, though. Just let us get our rest first. So we're going to need to do a little bit of healing to get through that. Nothing to buy, though, other than items from the item shop. There's no, new weapons or armor or anything we need to buy on our way to Kashuan Keep, so, the only place we'll be stopping on the way is Bofsk and the last Arcane Labyrinth entrance, so not really a whole lot to buy, but there you go. Yeah, sorry about that. He, made a sacrifice for the cause. Yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna do that. His, secret lover, I don't remember if she's in the house now with Nelly or what. Yeah, here she is. Okay. Well, I mean, he'd rather that she have somebody in her life, but sorry about this, kid. No, sorry to be the one to have to give you that news, but he's gone to a different place now, unfortunately, and he can't get back from where he is. I don't know how old Nelly is exactly, so it's kind of hard to tell just how many eggshells I have to walk on with her when it comes to Joseph's death. It's tough to talk to kids about death, honestly, but, Alright, so how much does this sell for? 500 gil? Perfect. Get it out of my inventory. I might keep the Blizzard Tome. You can actually buy, especially at this point, we've got as much gil as we do, you can go back to Altair and you can just buy Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder Tomes, and you can throw them as items at enemies. And what they'll do is they'll cast the level 8 version of the spell, so a Blizzard level 8, a Thunder level 8, a Fire level 8, on all the enemies. Now, granted, it's on all enemies, so it won't do as much damage, and I don't think it takes into account your intelligence when you throw it like that. So it's not as useful as it could be, but it's not terrible either, so it could come in handy in certain cases. So I'll hold on to that, why not? Let's sell the Mithril Spear, we won't need that. Sell the Battle Axe, we won't need that. Sell one of the Mithril Shields, we won't need that. I'm going to keep the Mithril Mace, though, the Mithril Shield and the Silver Cuirass, because those will come in handy in a little while. And I'm going to hold on to the Ancient Sword, even though it's not particularly good for my setup, because I might actually need it for the boss of Kashuan Keep. It's kind of a pain in the nuts to fight that guy. But we'll see. It's just going to kind of depend on how everything goes. So, let's see. Do I need regular potions? Not really. I think I'll just sell the regular potions I have. They don't really come in too handy, honestly. If I need to do like any topping off, I could just use high potions. So, let's get up to 20 so we can do... If we have 4 party members, that way we can do 5 top-offs with that, you know. So, that should be okay. Then, crosses, mallets, maidens, kisses, golden needles. Don't think I need any of those still, because enemies still can't do that to us, so I'll just hold off on those. We don't really need too many Phoenix Downs, because we have life now, but they're there just in case. Oh, in the process of doing the 0 miss and 1 miss wins as well, I'll get... I forget if the 1 miss win gives you a cottage, or if the 1 miss win gives you an elixir, but the 0 miss win gives you both. It gives you an elixir and a cottage, so that's like... On top of giving you the 40,000 gil or whatever it gives you, it also gives you effectively 52,000 gils worth of items, which is obscene. Absolutely ridiculous. Way more than you should be getting from that minigame. It honestly, like, I didn't expect it to be that much money, but it's one of those little well-kept secrets that you might not necessarily know about unless you look on the internet or you have a guide, so... I don't know, I mean, it saves you time. Like, I'm trying to think if I would rather it not be in the game like it is in Pixel Remaster, but it saves you so much time because then you can just buy items and you don't have to, like, grind up your MP by just continuously spamming spells in a fight and hoping to God it works, you know, so... It's one of those catch-22s where it's like, well, it's in the game and it kind of breaks the economy a little bit, but if it wasn't in the game, the economy would be pretty garbage because, like... Not garbage, but like it's hard. It would be hard to account for because you'd need ethers in order to keep your MP up in dungeons, but you also wouldn't be able to buy them because, or you'd spend all your money on them because you know, just don't have extra gil to throw around. So, speaking of no extra gil to throw around, I'm gonna buy up to 20 ethers. It's quite a lot, but it's there. I'm also gonna buy 1 cottage. Am I? Yeah, I'm going to buy 1 cottage, because that way we can use it when we are... Actually, I'm going to buy 2. So that way we can use it when we get to Kashuan Keep, so I can start the dungeon fresh, because you have to walk from Bofsk to Kashuan Keep, and it's a little bit of a walk, so that way I can start it fresh. It's basically like using an inn. It fully restores your HP and your MP, so I can use it when I go into the dungeon, and then when I'm done with the dungeon and I'm ready to leave, I can use it again, so that way I can get myself to full, and I can get back to Bofsk without having to worry about my health being a little bit off kilter, so that's the plan. That being said, excuse me, let me sort my items real quick. We're not actually going directly to Kashuan Keep just yet. I need to go west one more time because there's one little thing I need to go and try to grab before we actually go to Kashuan Keep. And now that we have everybody, well, just Firion and Guy in the party, this is probably the most, Firion, Maria, and Guy, this is probably the most convenient time for me to go do this because we don't have to worry about everybody else, like, anybody else, like Joseph or anybody having problems. I'm going to run from these guys because we've got everybody kind of in, although I guess I could just stick them in the front row so I don't have to run. I want to conserve my MP for this part because the enemies that are over here are a little tougher. That being said, we're going to have to fight them inside Kashuan Keep anyway, so if I'm not ready for them now, I might not be ready for them then either, but, you know, we'll figure it out. But there's a reason why I want to go over here, because one of the enemies that's over here, it's across this river and down into the forest area over here. One of the enemies that's over here... Well, okay, so let me explain it this way. The enemies at this point are going to start dropping... Sorry, my thing is a little too tight. There we go. The enemies at this point in the game are going to start dropping items for us a little more frequently. Kind of like how the soldiers were dropping garlic or potions or antidotes and that sort of stuff for us. But the enemies will start dropping actually premium items for us, or a little more premium anyway. So, like, halfway decent equipment sometimes, or spells that we otherwise wouldn't have access to. And one of the spells that one of the enemies can drop is really, really, really good and will definitely make the next boss fight a lot easier. So we're going to try to find them, and we're going to try to get them to drop it if possible. It might take a little doing because the enemies here are no joke, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. So here's one of the encounters you can get around here. You got land turtles and an ogre. So the land turtles are vulnerable to Blizzard. Let me see if I can AoE them and kill them with Blizzard at this point. I don't think so, but I think it'd be pretty close. Get Blink and Protect going, because they only have physicals, and at this point they can only hit Maria, so... Yeah, that's not quite enough to KO them just yet, but a level 6 Blizzard would be enough. So we'll just keep that in mind. And then we'll teleport the Ogre away. I'll see if I can get the last 2 HP off of this land turtle, and then I'll just AoE again. Okay, we did in fact manage that one. Good. Send you to the Shadow Realm. We'll probably get some MP increases out of this as well, because we're using multiple spells per turn to take care of these guys. Now, because there was only one enemy there, even though I AoE'd it down, it treated it as if it was a single target hit, so... Well, there's one drop that we could have gotten already. So the Ogre, I believe, is the one that dropped the Mithril Helm for us, so... This bottom row here is kind of the most... the easiest way to get these enemies to show up, so... That's why I'm doing this bottom row. Here's an Ogre Mage. He can put us to sleep if he so chooses, as you can see there. But sleep is a temporary status ailment, so it's not really something I'm super concerned about. I guess I can cast Shell, since, you know, that's pretty useful here. Or he could just die. He's got like 140 HP, so he's nothing to sneeze at, but... There's a Hellfire. It's like an Antarctic Wind, except, well, it casts fire. It's not his best drop. He can also drop... I think a Blind Tome and a Warp Tome, which would be pretty good because they sell for decent cash. The enemy in the back row there is actually the enemy that I'm looking for here, the Magician. I don't know if he'll drop his item right away, but if he does, that would be very nice of him to do. He's got good magic defense, so I don't know if Teleport will work perfectly on him, but he's only got about 80 HP, so it shouldn't be too bad to take care of him if it doesn't work. It did work, though, so... Now we just gotta see if he actually drops something for me. Because he can drop like 5 different spell tomes for you, so that's something that we'll have to account for. Actually, Furion, why don't you keep casting? Because you have more MP than Guy does at the moment, so... Yeah, sometimes you can run into like 4 Magicians in one single battle out here, which is very nice, because that gives you a very high chance of getting them to drop you something, but... maybe. Okay, they didn't drop me anything. Those are only soldier drops there, but... if you see a tome in a battle like that where there's a magician and soldiers, or magicians and soldiers, then you definitely got the drop, because the magicians are the ones that are going to have those tomes for you. Here's some other new enemies, Forest Rakkus and Dual Heads. So actually the Dual Heads is not new, we've seen him already, but Forest Rakkus is the one that will kick your ass if you walk too far from Fynn at the beginning of the game, so... And you'll notice that the Mithril Axe is starting to fall off a little bit in terms of its damage, but that's just because of the fact the Mithril Axe only has a small amount of attack power relative to the enemies and how strong they are at this point, so it will start to fall off, and it will be something that we'll have to concern ourselves with. It's not so much Maria's strength as it is the strength of the weapon. It's not something I can do anything about just yet, though, unfortunately. We need to go through 2 more dungeons before I can do anything about it, so... But we'll figure it out when we get there. I can't run from Forest Rakkus at this point, can I? Oh, I can. Okay, well, that makes this a little easier. I think all of the enemies that are in this area, other than maybe the Magicians, you can run from. Fleeing mechanics in this game are a little bit bizarre. I guess I can talk about them a little bit. Probably can't run from these guys because these rats are kind of quick, but fleeing from enemies, it depends on whether or not the enemies that you're fighting actually show up in a monster in a box in different parts of the game. If they do show up in a monster in a box, like that particular formation, you can't run from them no matter how much you try or how much agility you have. So sometimes it's worth it to flee, but only if you know they haven't shown up anywhere else, so... It's a little weird. But generally speaking, if you can't flee on the first turn with a decent amount of agility, then you probably can't flee at all. So, you could try it once, and then if it doesn't work, then, well, you'll have to leave. I can probably flee from these guys, though, yeah. So, as you can see, it's not guaranteed, because there was a land turtle in that fight, and we fought one of them in a monster in a box, but we could still run from that battle, so... It just depends on the formation sometimes. Like, in this particular case, it might just be that the rats are very fast, and that's why I can't run from them, or it might just be that they show up in a monster in a box somewhere, and that's also why I can't run from them, so... Actually, the Mithril Axe is doing pretty good against them, though, so maybe the Forest Rakkus just have more defense than I'm giving them credit for. I don't know. Guess we'll find out a little later. The tome that I want the magicians to actually drop for me, I actually need more than one of them over the course of the game. I need like, how many do I need? I'd love to get 4 if possible. And I don't want to grind for them. Really, the only one that I only really want to grind for one of them. The rest of them we should be able to get naturally from fighting magicians over the course of the next few dungeons, because they're available to fight on the overworld on the way to the dungeon after Kashuan. They're available to fight in Kashuan Keep itself on the lower floors, and they're available to fight in the dungeon after Kashuan Keep on all floors. So between all of that, we should be able to fight the magicians and get a decent number of tomes out of them. Whether it's the tomes we want or not is going to be the deciding factor, but we'll figure that part out later. So the magician can cast Blind on you. It's a permanent status, so you're definitely going to want to have some eye drops ready just in case that becomes a problem, but we'll figure that part out. Why don't you do that? We'll let you do that. I'm not really worried about the blind status. I'll cure it outside of battle in a few minutes, but I don't know how well that will actually work on them, though, the Thunder spell, because they've got decent magic defense, so we'll see. Okay, yeah, I mean, that worked pretty good, all things considered. 55 gil, got a magic defense increase. Okay, so this isn't the tome that I wanted, but it is a tome that I'll take. The Scourge tome. So that's the 4th elemental spell in the game. So you've got Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, and then Scourge. We're going to get 2 Scourge spells for free from a dungeon later on, but since I just got it now, I may as well teach it to Guy so that he has it, you know. So. Hey, Conquer, it's going good. How's it going for you there? Lots happened since you were here the last time. Yeah, we've had a few excursions along the way. We're at the moment we're actually doing the only little teeny tiny bit of grinding that I'm thinking I'm going to end up doing over the course of the game, because the magicians that the magician that we were just fighting in battle there can drop a tome that I'd actually like to get before we go to the next dungeon. So I'm trying to get one of them. I need 4 of them total over the course of the game, but we'll fight enough magicians later to get it. But I'd like to get at least one so that way I can mitigate any issues that I can have in the next dungeon, because the next dungeon's boss is a major pain. So we're trying to grab it now because it shouldn't take too long to just kind of feel it out and see if we can get it. So, alright, but there's Scourge for Guy, so that's good. And yeah, we're all doing pretty well. We acquired a new party member. Joseph, he didn't last very long. He saved us from a boulder trap, but died in the process. Literally died, so Maria got 2 evasion boosts in 2 episodes. We got a lot going on at this point. But it's all good. So, yeah, and we got the Snowcraft, which apparently had endless money and card games in it. That is true as well. And hello, Sephico. How you doing? Welcome back. As I was mentioning to Conquer, I'm feeling it out in this bottom little section of forest here near Semet Falls to try to find some more magicians, because the magicians have something I want. And we can flee pretty reliably from some fights at this point because Maria's agility is high enough, so... Not all fights, but some fights. Alright, we're being ambushed, so that's not so great, but... Honestly, fights where we get Ogre Mages, though, I usually finish these fights, and the reason why I finish these fights is because the Ogre Mages can cast spells on us. And as you saw previously, Maria can actually get magic well, anybody can get magic defense from fighting these guys. So, because we can get some magic defense out of this, I would rather try to get magic defense by just letting them cast spells on me. It's one of the reasons why I decided not to use the Sap Tome, because I was thinking, okay, well, let me take the enemies that have spells out of the fight by just completely depleting their MP, but why would I do that when I can just let them cast their teeny tiny little spells on me, heal them off later, and have more magic defense for the stronger enemies later on in the game, you know? Like, I figure I might as well just do that, let them hit me with the spells. Big deal, it raises my magic defense. Look, there you go, more magic defense. We're at 2 now for everybody, so that's pretty great. Might as well just let them do it, you know? I mean, Blizzard 5, it's like, that's not really gonna hurt me all that much, you know? So, I figure just let them do it. No big deal. So we'll hang out here for about another 15 minutes before I get bored, and after that point we'll probably call it and just head for our next destination. I'm going to see if Scourge 1 can kill a soldier. I don't think it can, but I might as well try it. We don't really need Scourge to be that... Well, actually, I was going to say we don't need it to be that powerful, but first of all, it has new animations just like Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder do at each successive level. So you'll have Scourge at this point, and then when it gets to level 3, it'll be Scourge Ra, and then Scourge Ga at level 6. So, like, you get new animations for it, just like Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder. But on top of that, the enemies that are weak to Scourge over the course of the game have a lot of HP, so it might actually be worth it to try to raise its levels to be comparable with Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder. There it is! Right there! That's what I wanted, baby! I didn't use up all my luck on the Adamantoise. The Berserk Tome. Perfect. So, what's Berserk? Well... it's a Japanese anime with a guy named Guts that... No, that's a different Berserk. The Berserk that we're specifically looking for was the Berserk Tome, which teaches the spell Berserk, which raises your attack power. How does it work? Well, it's a black magic spell, and it's like Protect. So you know how when we use Protect, it gives us a flat bonus. So when Protect hits, every level of the spell that hits raises your defense by your spirit. So if your spirit is 15, if you get one level of Protect, you get 15 defense flat. Berserk is like the attack version of that. It uses your intelligence because it's a black magic spell, but if you get it to hit successfully, it raises your attack by your intelligence value. So if you have 15 intelligence, every level of Berserk that hits, you get 15 extra attack. And it stacks with itself all the way to level 16. We will never get it to level 16, but it stacks with itself. So what does that mean? Well, Maria starts with 15 intelligence, and she already has Protect, so let's teach her Berserk. And now we have an insurance policy for the boss of the next dungeon, because he's got lots of defense, but we can clip through that defense now with Berserk. We just have to train it a little bit, so we'll try to have her cast it in the next dungeon in order to make things a little easier. So, streamer luck coming in handy once again. Exactly. Yeah, the Orc Tome. Exactly. The Unga Bunga Tome. I mean, my streamer luck's been pretty good, though. Like, I mean, for a while. I mean, think about the Constitution gem we got in Skies of Arcadia. Ever since then, it's been pretty great, so I'll take it. Guts' boat didn't have infinite money in card games. Very sad. That's kind of broken. That means we're gonna cheat. I mean, it is, in fact, very broken, yes. I'm willing to use it on Maria, because here's the thing about it, right, is really the way that you're supposed to use it is you're supposed to give it to your Black Mage, because your Black Mage is the one that's casting black magic spells and raising their intelligence. So now, think of it this way. If I cast a single target Berserk on somebody from my Black Mage, and my Black Mage has 99 intelligence, every level of Berserk that hits gives me 99 attack. Excuse me, what? So that's why I'm giving it to Maria, because 99 intelligence plus Berserk will annihilate this video game. You'll be doing thousands of physical attack damage just from Berserk alone without needing to do any other debuffs, nothing. You don't gotta do anything else. You just cast Berserk and go. So that's why I'm giving it to Maria, because she's the melee unit, so she won't have incredibly high intelligence to take advantage of it. 15 to 20 intelligence is probably all she can really expect over the course of the game. So if that's all she's gonna get, it'll make it not so broken. Hopefully. I hope, yeah. Yeah, read a book, Maria. Knowledge is power. Apparently, in this case, it actually is, because she gained the knowledge of Berserk from reading that book, and, well, look where we're at now, so, you know. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Let's try it out. I'll cast Thunder and then Scourge. Go crazy! Go stupid, Maria. Unga bunga these ogres. Oh, that one's dead already, so you can't unga bunga that one. Now watch, I'm gonna get blinded and I'm not gonna be able to hit this guy. Yep, how did I know? Alright, Furion, see if the eye drops will work for her so she can unga bunga this guy with one level of Berserk. So she's got 15 extra attack power right now because she got one stack of Berserk to actually successfully hit. Now she's blinded, so she has significantly less chance of hitting, but hey, at least we got rid of it. And we only got blizzarded, so that's good. Extra magic defense for me, you know. Alright, Unga Bunga again. So, it might not look like much at the moment, and that's because it's not, really. Like, she still has to actually hit. Oh, go to Blink Tome, I'll take that. That'll sell for a little bit. she still has to actually hit the guys, and she doesn't exactly have the best accuracy at the moment. But remember, the spell's only at level 1, so it will go up as we go from there, and it will get really, really good. Oh, I need to get rid of... well, I guess I don't have to get rid of Blind for Guy. Matter of fact, I could probably just do this. Yeah. Okay. Let's get rid of it now, though. There we go. Put that there. And then sortie all of you to the front row, because we're not fighting really tough enemies at this point. Well, I guess those guys weren't really tough, but they're not, you know, we're not fighting things that are gonna kill us at this point. I can actually take all of these guys, you know, like, it's fine. So. My Emperor, a second book has hit the rebellion. No, we can't allow them to have that knowledge. It will destroy me. Burn the books! I've burned their villages, now burn all the books! I'm surprised the Emperor didn't burn all the books. I feel like his little rebellion would go a lot better for him if he did, but... I mean, whatever. He's doing it to himself, after all, so I can't... You know... If that's what he wants to do, then I can't stop him. Then again... Considering the fact that we're the protagonists, we'd find another way to BS our way into learning the spells if we couldn't learn them from the tomes, so, you know. So that's why book burning is a thing. Dumb people, weak people. Actually, that's genuinely a real thing. One of the reasons why they used to burn books back in the day as a part of, like, war strategies was because they wanted to make sure that the people were uneducated so they could subjugate them and they wouldn't try to rebel, because they wouldn't be knowledgeable enough to know what things were like before. So then their children would grow up under a regime that was subjugating them, and they wouldn't think, hey, so, you know, this kind of sucks. Maybe I should rise up. So that's genuinely a thing. Like, it sounds like a joke, but it's actually a real life thing that they did in war tactics. So, yes, that is a thing. 5 hit looks like Furion saying shit. I never really noticed that, but that's pretty funny. Yeah, I'll have to keep that. I'll have to, like, take a look at that, because we're at level 5 with Furion and Guy's attacks. So I'll have to look at that more closely to see what you mean next time. What do I can sell? I can sell this garlic. Don't need that. I can sell the Hellfire. It's only 150 gil, but remember, the enemies could just drop these frequently, and you can stack a whole bunch of them in your inventory, so you could end up with a bunch of them. And it casts, like, Fire 5 if you use it, so it's not great, but it's not bad. It's better than, I guess, having to buy a whole bunch of fire tomes. We have so much money at this point. Like, I bought cottages and ethers enough to get me through the next dungeon, and we've still got, you know, 4,600 gil kicking around in our inventory, so we should be fine. I don't even need to buy anything, actually, now that I think about it, because, like... Well, no, actually, I should buy some eye drops, because we'll be fighting more ogre mages in the next dungeon, so, like, I want to have quite a few, because I'm not using Basuna and Isuna. So, because I'm not using those spells, you want to try to have... The reason why I'm not using them, by the way, if I didn't elaborate on this last time, is because in this version of the game, you can just have as many items in your pack as you want, and you can access them at any time in battle from the items menu. In old versions of the game, like the PS1 version, the NES version, I think the Pixel Remaster does this too, you can only access 2 items at a time, and it's only the items that you equip to the characters on the equipment menu. So they're not as reliable, and in those versions of the game, having Basuna and Isuna to cure status ailments is better, because you can just do it from your spell menu. You don't have to worry about doing it from the items menu after a battle's already over. But in this version of the game, since you can have as many items as you want in your inventory, you can just buy a bunch of them and then not worry about it, you know? So that's why I'm not getting Basuna and Isuna, because we can just access healing items from our pack, so not much of a point. Alright, so with that, let's save again, since we got what we needed. And now we can head straight off to Kashuan Keep, because we have the Goddess's Bell, and we'll go from there. I mentioned, by the way, earlier, I don't know if either of you two were here, the minigame on the Snowcraft, I looked it up because I have some old notes from when I was going to write an FAQ for this game at one point. And my old notes say that if you get a 0-miss win on the Snowcraft minigame, you actually get 40,000 gil. And that's before the fact that actually your money, the first time you win at a specific tier. So like the first time you get a 0 miss win, you get double the money. Hey, there it is. Shit. So yeah, I didn't see that before, but there it is. Yeah, so you actually get double the money, which if that's correct, if my old notes are correct, that would mean that we would get 80,000 gil from a 0 miss win. And that's a lot of money. Like, an excessive amount of money. Way more money than we could ever possibly need for quite some time. So, I don't know if it's true, but if it is, well, we'll find out, because I'm gonna try to get those wins between this episode and the next episode, so we'll just see. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Lot of money. It's the opposite of little money. Do I even need to stop in Bofsk? I haven't taken any damage, you know, other than that little hit that I took that I healed off with a potion. So, I might just not, because I've got a cottage, so I can just use that when I get to Kashuan Keep. I really wish Maria would get a stamina boost, but she needs to take more damage in order to get a stamina boost, so it's probably not going to happen for a little while. Let's see. Do I want to have Guy? No, now that I have Berserk, I kind of don't need Guy to, like, even bother. What I was going to do originally, my plan, before I went and got the Berserk Tome, was I was going to have Guy work on his physical attacks so that he could get to level 6 unarmed, because if I took his shield off, and I had him punch the next boss to death, it would actually work pretty well from what I understand, because the unarmed attacks are a little bit different in terms of the way that their damage is calculated. They don't take defense into account as much, or at least that's what it seems like. It might just be because you get more attack power with unarmed than you do with other weapons. Like, his attack is 24 right now, Maria's is 25, and she's got level 8 in her axe, so like, barehanded gets stronger and stronger the more strength you get and the more levels you get, so. It doesn't need as much investment, basically, as everything else, but, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. So we'll bypass Bofsk, and we'll head off to the southeast corner, or southwest corner, over here, so we can go to the last Arcane Labyrinth entrance, just so that I can show where it is, because, well, I mean, I'll be going there later anyway, but I might as well show where it is while we're here, so that if anybody wants to go there early, they can. Hell, you can go all the way out here as soon as you get Minwu if you really want to, but, because, like, if you go out here with Minwu in your party, the way that the Arcane Labyrinth's key terms system works is that at the end of all 3 dungeons, which there's a total of 21 floors that you'd have to go to between the 3 different locations, the words that you used on each of the floors that you go on are better or worse for different party members, and you can get an ultimate weapon for, well, not an ultimate weapon, but a really powerful weapon, better than the vast majority of the weapons that you could normally get in the game for any given party member that you take through. So, like, if you went through with Minwu, you'd be repeating a whole bunch of different floors because you only have a few key terms, but you'd get a really powerful staff for him before he even leaves to go heal the king. So, if you want to make this game even easier, I mean, there you go, I guess. Like, I don't see why you would, but there you go. But yeah, so that's how that works. I've never really used the Arcane Labyrinth for that, though. I just sort of use it as a bonus dungeon in other parts of the game for the similar reasons, as like a challenge to confront, rather than a way to get a bunch of ridiculously powerful items, so. But, you know. Oh, this one looks a little different. It kind of looks like, what was that cavern in Final Fantasy 1? The one that you go to that you fight the Mind Flayer in the first time, or not the Mind Flayer, the, Pisca Demon. Oh, I forget what it's called, but that one. The one where you go to get... Was that to get the Crystal Eye, or was that to get... No, because you fight Astos after that, don't you? I forget. Actually, I don't need to talk to either of you, because both of you say the same thing as the other ones, so... But yeah, so it kind of looks like that. And there's a dungeon in this game that also looks like that we'll be going to eventually, but not quite yet, so... Alright, practice Berserk, practice Scourge. I forgot to do that before. So I was just punching things to death, but we can practice Scourge while we're here because these enemies are low enough level to where I'll still get some weapon experience or spell experience out of it. Not for long, but they'll all die from one hit of it, so that helps. Nope. And, yeah, not really going to get much else. So, just beat them to death now. These goblin encounters, though, while you're out on the world map around Kashuan Keep, there's actually a rare enemy that you can encounter in these goblin encounters called a Goblin Prince. And it's actually a missable enemy because it's only available on the world map out here. And later on in the game, the world map encounters will actually change depending on how long you play the game for. So if you don't find it while you're here in the Kashuan area, you might want to try to look for it, basically, if you want an 100% bestiary, because if you don't, eventually you won't be able to find it anymore. So, well, maybe that's not true. Maybe it's available inside of Kashuan Keep as well. But whenever I've found it, I've always found it out here. So I would try to find it out here if I was any of you, and you're trying to get that 100% bestiary. So. Alright, keep working that Berserk spell, Maria. If we get it up to level 3, it should be pretty okay for you. So. And actually, now that I think about it, let me kind of reiterate on how Berserk works. It's not like Temper in Final Fantasy 1. So Temper, you could stack up to 4 times on an individual party member. With Berserk, the way that it works is that it doesn't stack as in you can cast it 2 times in a row and get both of the effects out of it. So like if you cast Berserk level 2 and get 2 Berserk stacks, and then you cast Berserk level 2, you don't get 2 more Berserk stacks. The higher amount overwrites the lower one. So like if you have a level 4 Berserk spell, and you only get 2 stacks from the first cast, but then you get 3 stacks from the second cast, you have 3 stacks. You don't have 5, you have 3, because the higher of the 2 overwrites. It's still really powerful, but it's not quite as busted as it would be if it worked like Temper in Final Fantasy 1, because Temper in Final Fantasy 1 was basically the one-note strategy. Like, that was how you killed everything in the end game, because they had lots of defense, but you could overcome it by casting Temper on your monk 4 times, and then they would do 3,000 damage per hit, so. Trust me, I know, I did that. It's been 6 years, but I did that. So, to get to Kashuan Keep, by the way, I didn't really show when we were on the map here. You have to go around this mountain range and then in through either this little inlet or this little inlet between. And this is Kashuan Keep here. There is something to the south of it, though. We'll go there after we're done in the keep, so. But for now, just walk through this gigantic forest, and then we will be to our destination. Do you have anything here that I'd want to use more? I guess Shell, but I guess I can use it, why not? I'm gonna cast Scourge anyway, so... By the way, Berserk suffers from the same issues that other spells suffer from when you multi-target it, where it divides the accuracy of the spell by 4. And that also means that it divides the potential attack power boost by 4. So, like, it'll only have a chance... If you have a level 4 spell and 4 party members, it'll only have a maximum chance of hitting 1 time per party member. So, multi-targeting probably isn't in your best interest, if I'm honest. So, don't do it. Just single target that shit. It will work much better. It will be much more potent than it would be if you multi-targeted it. So... And we can keep getting agility boosts, so that's nice too. That's completely separate from the Berserk part, but hey, we can get the agility boosts and they will help us out, so. How you doing on agility now? 32? Holy shit, that's more than I thought you'd have. So, she's got a 99% evasion rate at this point. Now, granted, that's with a nearly endgame shield because the Adamantoise dropped it for me, but like, 32? Christ, Maria. This is one of the reasons, though, why it's nice to have her be a melee unit. She isn't exactly the strongest melee unit out there, but she makes up for it because she's able to dodge very effectively. So it's not going to help her in the HP department, obviously, but dodging is the name of the game at the end game here. So, like, that part will help her. All right, before we save, let me use a cottage real quick. We really don't need it that badly. We're not hurting that bad on MP and stuff, but we'll use it. Just to top ourselves off completely, and then we will save it up and head inside. See if we can break the seal on Kashuan Keep so we can go find Eagle's Torch. Because the Sunfire should be right here, so... I also really like the dungeon theme in Kashuan Keep. You don't get to hear the whole thing in here very much, but later on you'll go to like a castle where there's no encounters and you can hear it a lot, like all the way through. So maybe I'll just hang around and let everybody listen to it after this battle's over. Maria says, just don't get hit, lol. And honestly, she's right. In this game, she's right. So, to be fair though, she has a hard time hitting enemies as well, so, you know, that doesn't help her, but, it's okay. You know, if that guy didn't escape, I probably could have, like, not had everybody attack and gotten Maria some weapon experience, but that's okay. I don't really need it at this point. The boss of the area will give us a chance to actually get some weapon experience as well for everybody, because I'm probably going to have people in the back row, and I'll just let them all whiff at the air. So, oh good, I just used a cottage and there's an HP increase. Fantastic, I love that. Well, I got a potion, so I can just use that and a high potion and top off. There we go. But yeah, I'll let you listen to the music real quick. Hang on. Here comes my favorite part. Pretty good. It's one of those iconic tracks for me that sticks in my head whenever I think of this game. And honestly, I really do think, like, it might have sounded like a joke before when I was talking about, like, the percussion and it not being present in the Pixel Remaster and that being a negative point, but percussion is so important for some of these tracks. It adds a layer of depth to a lot of the songs in this game. And it's a game about war, right? Now, I'm probably waxing poetic here, but it's a game about war, and when you're in a war, if you're doing a demonstration and you're marching into a war, or you're marching for a parade, you march to a beat, the beat of a drum, the beat of percussion. So that percussion is inherently programmed into our brain as it's like associated in some way with war. So having that percussion in there adds a layer of depth and theming to the game in the music without really having to hit you over the head with it. It feels familiar for reasons you can't necessarily pinpoint unless you are like, oh, war, and marching to the beat of a drum in war. Again, maybe I'm waxing poetic on that one, but I feel like the percussion adds a lot to this game's soundtrack, and the Pixel Remaster mostly ignores percussion, and not for a good reason. They say it's faithful to the original, but the reason why the original didn't have percussion is because of technical limitations, not because it didn't want it. It really wanted it, but they didn't have it. They couldn't. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just BSing and I just don't like the Pixel Remaster. I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoy that song. It's one of my favorites. But then again, this whole game's soundtrack is really good, all things considered. Just wait until we get to... We've heard the boss theme on a couple of occasions already, but that's not the real boss theme. Wait till we get to the Fierce Battle theme later on in the game. Oh man, that's my favorite song. Well, okay, it's one of my favorite songs in this game. It's hard to pick a favorite. The soundtrack in this one is really good. Alright, so we got the Sunfire here. It's not intelligent, so we can't ask it a question, but if we get Eagle's Torch, we can go into our items and we can use Eagle's Torch to pull the Sunfire from the brazier here. So we will try to do that. I mean, you could try asking it a question, but it doesn't even know what it is, so I don't really think that's going to help. So, yeah, the final boss theme is also really good. Yeah, the final dungeon music is fantastic. The final boss theme's really good. This game's soundtrack is slept on, let me tell you what. Like, it's really solid all the way around. And the way that Tsuyoshi Sekito did the rearrangements for the PS1 version of the game, which are the ones that are carried over for this version, sublime. Like, just they add so much of variety to the songs that you just couldn't get from the bleeps and bloops on the NES version, so... Yeah, big fan of the OST in this one. Alright, so the door's locked. It'll only open to the sound of a Kashuan's voice, or this. And there we go. Now we can go inside. Perfect. Alright, so let's head on through. He gave them life. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. He breathed new life into them from the bleeps and bloops of the NES era. Oh, hey, Gordon. You survived the Dreadnoughts bombing. Well, that's a good thing. By yourself, though? Well, we had to go out of our way to get the Goddess's Bell to open the door, and to be fair, someone died to get it. So... Well, no kidding. I mean, after the Empire trashed this place, I would imagine the monsters moved in. I mean, I know it was your home, sorry, but... Well, you could come with us. We're also looking for Eagle's Torch, so... Oh, do you? That would be a good idea, if you knew where you were going. Oh. Okay, well, hey. Yeah, I was gonna say, the more the merrier. That'll get us 4 party members again, so... If you're willing, let's do it. Alright, and the Spoony Bard's prototype joins the party. Gordon is a little better than Edward is when Edward first joins your party, though, in Final Fantasy IV, so let's take a look at him. He's not great on the HP and MP department at the moment, but he has potential. That's the thing about Gordon, is he has potential. He is level 2 in all of his skill levels, so you could have him use pretty much anything and he'll be pretty good with it. But he also has 22 in all of his stats, which means he'll be really solid if you start investing in him a little bit. Like, if he gains HP, he'll gain a lot of it. If he gains MP, he'll gain a lot of it. He has really solid strength, so he has good accuracy with pretty much every weapon. He's got good spirit and intelligence, so he can cast spells pretty effectively. It all really depends on what you want him to do. So, me personally, the way that Gordon, for me, has always worked is I usually give him a staff. And by a staff, I mean a mace. Because the mace weapons that are available at around the times when Gordon joins you are usually some of the best weapons available at that point in the game. So that's usually why I hand that to him. And I kind of just let him use it so that he has something halfway interesting to use that we don't normally use. So like Minwu got the staves. If he was around a little more at this point, he'd get the other staves. Like there's a mage's staff that we could get as a drop from magicians. He'd get that. But Gordon will get maces instead. So. Yeah, Gordon! 22 across the board. Toonie Bard. Yeah, something like that. Cashew Keep. Literally standing inside the locked apartment and could have opened the door for us. Yeah, it's too bad he didn't know we were on the other side, because that would have made it a lot easier. Joseph wouldn't have had to die, Gordon. What the hell? No, but anyway, Gordon couldn't have known. He doesn't start with any spells, and probably I should have grabbed the Protect Tome on my way here from Poft for him, but that's okay. He doesn't really need it that badly. We can get a few spells while we're here in the keep that we can just teach him for the hell of it. Like, I think there's... Well, we've got a Blizzard Tome, so I could teach him that right now so he has something to practice, but honestly, I think I'd rather he practice with the Mithril Mace than with spells for right now. Well, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, because we can fight Adamantoises as regular encounters on the lowest levels of the keep, so Guy can't quite one-shot them just yet, but between him and Gordon, we might be able to one-shot, well, one-round them at the very least, so we'll see if that works. I don't know if it will, but we'll see. If I had a second Berserk Tome, I'd also give it to Gordon, but I don't know, the thing about Gordon is that he's only in your party for a very small amount of time in this game, so I wouldn't say he's necessarily the... Like, I wouldn't invest in him super heavily, basically. Like, I would give him good equipment, but I wouldn't invest in him super heavily. I'd kind of just give him whatever you can get and just move along with your life, because he's not with you for very long. So just do what you can with him while he's here. If he dies or in battle gets KO'd, then he gets KO'd, like, big deal. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just... He's just one of those, like, little projects that you can do, so he's got good stats, but he can't really use them for very long because he's not with you for very long. But, I mean, he'll pull his weight while he's here, so. I probably should have had him attack there because he would have gotten some weapon experience out of that. But Maria got strength and agility, so maybe I shouldn't say that too loud. Alright, we'll give him a Cure Tome as well, because why not? We just got it, and I don't need to throw it around. Although I will say this, if you don't want to actually use the cure spell in your like magic spell list like this, you could just go buy a whole bunch of cure tomes and just throw those around for AoE healing, because you can cast a level 8 cure spell by throwing the tome. So like that might be pretty good for you. I don't know if it's as good as using cure level 8 yourself, but because I don't think when you throw the tome, I don't think it accounts for your spirit stats. So I don't think it's going to be quite as good as if you cast it yourself, but it's probably not terrible. Hell, if we can get back to Altair readily after this, I might give it a shot. I don't know. Never invest in the 4th guest party member until a certain one. Yeah, kind of. It's worth investing in some of them, for reasons I can't get into because they're a spoiler, but it's worth investing in some of them after, like, for certain points. All of the ones we've gotten so far, up to Gordon, have been worth investing in. It's just Gordon's the first one where he's just not with you for very long, so he's harder to invest in. Maria, are you getting agility every fight now or what? Like, you've gained 2 agility since we got here. And you didn't even do anything in the last battle. You just defended. You didn't even get hit. What the hell? Agility is broken. Is this a monster room? It is. But there were no monsters. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I don't know Kashuan Keep quite as well as the Snow Cavern and Semet Falls off the top of my head, so it might be a little... We might actually have a little bit of a more genuine reaction to some of the areas of the dungeon here. So, we'll see. Alright, we can get Gordon weapon experience from this one. We'll just get rid of the soldier because he was the biggest threat. We can slowly build up the not spoony bard. The spoony-ish bard. There's more oh my god. Maria! I'm gonna start sounding like Shadow the Hedgehog over here. I'm gonna be shouting her name after every fight. Oh my lord. Okay, well there's an ogre already. That's great. Let's see. I'm gonna... Nah, I'll let Gordon handle this for a little bit, and then we'll... How about this? We'll use Scourge, and we'll let Gordon whack him upside the... Okay, maybe not. I was gonna say, I'll let Gordon whack him upside the head, but maybe not so much. Well, you two did okay so far, so just keep doing it. The Scourge spell, by the way, if I remember correctly, it has the chance to poison the enemy? I could be wrong about that, though. Poison's not particularly good in this game, though. It doesn't take away a percent... Is that an illusory wall? Nope. Okay. It doesn't take away a percent of the enemy's HP at the end of each turn. It takes away a fixed amount, and I think it's a really low amount, like maybe 1 or 2... Not 1 or 2 HP, but like a very low amount of HP, not much. So I wouldn't worry about it. So I didn't mention it just there, but did you see how the shadows hit me and it went that whack, 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 like the 3 hits thing? If you ever see that specific pattern of attacks, the whack, 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 what that signifies in this game is that the enemy that just hits you ignores your defense when they hit you. So these shadows have the innate ability to ignore your defense. Later on in the game, on top of ignoring your defense, the enemies will also absorb health with every hit, so be careful. When you see that whack, 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 it means danger. We won't see it very often because Maria will be in the front row most of the time, and so then, you know, she'll just handle it by evasion tanking, but, you know. Oh good, the shadow didn't die, so now we can get the weapon experience for you. Although I think they might have been rank 2, so you might have gotten it anyway. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we'll just keep leveling up his staff abilities and he'll be in good shape. I'm going to use him kind of, I guess, as a melee character for a little while because, I mean, you could get him some spell casting use, and I might have him use Cure and stuff a little bit, but maybe I should have gotten him Asuna so he could just cast this while he's at level 1. Although I don't think Asuna works to cure blind at level 1. I think you have to get it to level 2 in order for it to cure blind, so... This is a bit of a conundrum, though, but I guess I could just, like, avoid this by having Furion and Guy cast exclusively after this and just leave them blinded for the rest of the dungeon and just heal Gordon and Maria when they get blinded. Because blind, unfortunately, cuts your attack accuracy in half, so that can be problematic for primarily melee units. For casters, it's no problem, but for melee units, yeah, it'll be troublesome. Ow. Okay, that little womp was not an ignore defense hit, but It had a bit of a sound effect to it, now didn't it? Oh, Guy got agility. We got a blind tome out of that. Good. Blind is a body elemental spell, so the darkness status is actually induced by as a body elemental spell. So enemies that are weak to body, you could use it on. And it's a permanent status effect as well, so it can work pretty well against enemies that, you know, have primarily physical attacks if you invest in it a little bit. But I'm not really... I don't think I'm going to invest in it with Guy. There's another spell that I'd like to use that is pretty much the de facto status effect for this game. Buffs in this game I find are a little bit more effective than debuffs, because debuffs only last on each individual enemy that you're fighting, whereas buffs last the entire battle as long as you use them. So, alright, so these are the upgraded shadows, wraiths. I'll practice Berserk a little bit, why not? And then, I don't remember if they absorb poison. I don't think they do, but they're probably resistant to it, so let's just see if we can whack them upside the head and see where we go from there. Not much of an upgrade, considering they died right away, but, you know. I forget which one of them is dangerous, though, but I remember one of the shadow variants. Actually, most of the higher level shadow variants are pretty dangerous, so just be careful with them. These ones are probably not too scary, though. So, we'll just do one of these and one of those, and then we'll let Gordon get the weapon experience after that, and then be good. And we'll just kind of go along from there. If Gordon gets a little evasion from dodging or tanking attacks, if he gets a little HP as well, that shouldn't be too bad. But he's not quite at his full power just yet. He will get to his full power later on in the dungeon, but... at least his full power for right now, anyway. So. That's it, Gordon. Kick their ass. Show them what the Spoony Bard can do. I'll tell you, Maria's agility is impressing me, but Furion's spirit is also doing pretty well. Guy's been getting some intelligence as well. Furion's got 31 spirit. And, I mean, 18 intelligence isn't too bad, because Guy's only got attacking spells for now. He can't practice just support spells just yet, but he'll be able to eventually, and then that'll make it a little easier for him to just randomly gain intelligence, you know. Especially against higher-ranked monsters, that'll work pretty good for him, so. I think I'm gonna heal, actually, just for the hell of it. Get rid of the Ogre, and then... or no, actually... well, I'm gonna need Blizzard to get rid of the Land Turtle, so yeah, get rid of the Ogre. We'll Scourge the Land Turtle and then just bonk him. It won't do much damage, if any at all, but it will get us weapon experience, so that's the important part. If I have to, I'll just cast Blizzard on him and get rid of him after this, but I think Scourge level 2 should do... it's okay damage. It's not terrible. I'll take it. And then you two just kind of wail on him until he falls over dead, and he should be okay. Of course, if he keeps wailing on you, I mean, it's fine. Gordon will get some HP out of this, and he could definitely use it. He's only got 128 at the moment, which is not a lot, so... keeping him in the front row might be a dangerous game, but I'll play it. Why not? Okay, maybe I won't play it. Guy, why don't you help them out? Never mind, Maria got it. It's fine. Okay, there's an HP increase for Gordon. And like I said, he's got a decent amount of stamina, so he'll get good HP when he gets HP, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Use a high potion to top him off. But yeah, so he'll grow pretty quickly. He catches up without too much trouble, which is good, because then it's not as much of a difficulty to invest in him. This is also not an illusory wall. It'd be funny if it was, because you could just skip the whole floor, but, you know. I think there's 6 floors in Kashuan Keep, if I remember correctly, so we'll try to make that all work. Quite a lot of undead, even in this dungeon, though, so that should help us out in terms of, like, getting our life level up. I think if I remember right, if you actually use it to revive your party members, you know, crazy concept, but I'm sure you could do that. I think the higher its level, the more HP they get when you revive them with it. So, actually, no. I don't know if Gordon will get weapon experience from this. I don't remember if Shadows are rank 1 or rank 2. But might as well try. Why not? Ah, and there's his natural HP gain. So he got 2. Now he's at 172, and he's already catching up pretty quickly to Firion and, well, maybe not Guy, but Firion and Maria at the very least. So. Okay, Wraiths. See if we can take care of these guys. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, just have Gordon whack him upside the head. No big deal. So yeah, I'll probably just meander a little bit in this dungeon, because like I said, I don't remember this one quite as well as the other ones. I could look at a map, but I don't think that's that necessary. I forget if there is a treasure, but it's down here. Okay, so let's go take a look and see what we can find here. I think if we go to the right, it just goes all the way to the exit, so we'll see. Ah, a monster in a box with a golden shield. Okay. Well, the golden shield, actually, no, that explains why we couldn't run from those were-rats, because they're a monster in a box encounter, so that's why we couldn't run from them before, because this is the were-rat encounter. All were-rat encounters that are exclusively were-rats on the world map use this table to determine whether or not you can run, and you can't run from monster in a box encounters, so that explains why we couldn't run from them before, because this is the same encounter, it's just got more rats in it. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. Twitch wants you to make a stream suggestion, so Twitch is recommending one of my channel point things? Really? Well, you can do it if you want, I mean, won't hurt, right? So, yeah, welcome back. We're in Kashuan Keep. We got the prototype of the Spoony Bard. He's whacking people upside the head with a mace right now. 862 gil from that fight, and a golden shield, not bad. Oh, and by the way, my streamer luck kicked in again, Marie, because I got a diamond shield from the Adamantoise, and I got a Berserk Tome from a Magician already. So, there you go. Speaking of, hydration break. Good idea, Conker. I'll take a hydration break. I'm glad I still have water left over. I've got a 25-ounce bottle of water, but I get through it pretty quick when I'm talking for this, like, length of time. So... what was I gonna do? The golden shield, that was what I was gonna do. I can give that to somebody. I could give it to Maria because it has the same evasion percentage as the diamond shield. It's just it's resistant to poison instead of lightning. But I can give it to somebody else instead. I'll give it to Guy. Then he's got some gold and some silver going on. It's probably gaudy as all hell, but hey, I'll take it, you know. Do I want to go back to the middle room, or do I just want to go this way and see if it goes where I think it does? I'm just going to go this way, I think, and see if it goes where I think it does. I'll shell up. Why don't you practice Berserk some more, because it'll probably come in handy for you to do that. And then I'll Blizzard one of them, and then let Gordon just whack the other one and see if it works out. It probably won't work out, but it's fine. We can just dogpile on the guy next turn if we need to. That almost would have killed an Adamantoise in one hit just there. I think if I remember right, Adamantoises have 560 HP, so that almost would have killed him in one hit. That's nuts. Yeah, sure, why not? But this teleport should work, so. Does the guy have bronze, silver, and gold? Maybe. I can go look. Let's see. There's more agility. Barehanded, so... bare hands, gold, and silver. So, if his hands were made of bronze, he would be bronze, silver, and gold. But, or maybe you're referring to something else, I don't know. He could probably corrode all of those metals with Scourge at this point, though. So, okay, so I need to heal next battle with Firion, so I'll heal with Cure. Ah, okay, that's why, because we need to go back to the middle room to get out of here. Got it. Yeah, like I said, I don't remember this dungeon quite as well as the first two, so it'll be a little bit more genuine, I guess, the process of me getting through this one. So. Oh, you misread? Yeah, I could see it, because like barehanded, it looks like bronze if you're, if you see the first letter. And it's like, oh yeah, well, you've mostly got bronze equipment still, but yeah. I get it. There's Scourgera for you. Don't get to see that too often. At least, not if... I mean, I don't usually use Scourge. Well, it depends. Like, sometimes I use it and sometimes I don't. There's the Adamantoise that I was just talking about. Yeah, I don't use Scourge too often when I'm just randomly putzing around in this game, so... it's sometimes I don't get to see like Scourge Raw or like the level 3 version of Scourge, which I would consider to be, because it gets an animation change. So usually when you get an animation change, it's like, okay, well, it's Fire, Fyra, Fyraga. There's actually one more in this game at level 10, which I guess would be Fyraja. It would have a JA, because that's what it is in Final Fantasy XII anyway, the 4th tier of the spell. Although, there's also Ardor, which is a completely separate fire elemental spell that's also in Final Fantasy XII. Look, I don't make the rules around here, I just play the games. Oh wow, that didn't kill him. I thought with the Blizzard it would. Well, we can have Gordon use Blizzard in a second, and that'll be good enough, so. Do not comprehend how your HP is that low this early. You were near 1k for all of your people by the time you finished Kashuan Keep. That is insane. Like, an insane amount of HP. Like, I will not breach 1,000 HP with anyone except Guy until probably Mysidia Tower, honestly. Just, you don't need it. Like, you just don't need that much HP if you invest in Blink and you use the front and back row and all that stuff. Like, if you have heavy armor, yeah, you'll definitely have a ton of HP at this point, but, like, you just don't need all that HP, so. Okay, good. We got a bunch of level upgrades there. Fantastic, I'll take it. Alright, so life is almost level 4. We encounter more undead. That'll get to 4. Blink might get to 5. Berserk is almost at 3. I should probably get that to 3 before the boss fight, just so I get it, because then, if she hits all 3 levels of Berserk, that's 45 extra attack power. Hey. And then, yeah, the rest is fine. Let's talk about barbecuing the fish in Ridorana Lighthouse with Ardor and Oil in FF12. Oh, I love using Fire Elemental boosting gear, too, in Final Fantasy XII. The only thing that I like better than the Fire boosting gear is giving everybody Dark Absorption gear in Final Fantasy XII, and then casting Dark Gut on my party because I don't have a White Mage, so I just use that to heal instead. I feel like such a little gremlin when I do that, but it works pretty well, so what I did when I played Final Fantasy XII in the Zodiac Age edition is I only ever gave everybody one job each. So, like, if I had one person be a White Mage, nobody else could be a White Mage because of the way that I did it. So, it just felt good, kind of like, I wonder if these things absorb Scourge. Probably not. But yeah, it just felt good being like, okay, well, I can work around the fact that I don't have a second White Mage. That party is cheese until Zodiark. Yeah, Zodiark kind of shits all over that plan, doesn't he? But, you know, we don't have to worry about that for a little while. Oh, Gordon got an agility boost. Good. Oop, he's taking poison damage. Yeah, so the poison that he took from those were-rats is a permanent version of poison. Although I don't think it's called poison. I think it's called venom, if I remember correctly. Even though it's called poison, the status effect on your menu. I don't know. Maybe the temporary one is venom and this one's poison, but the were-rats can inflict the permanent version, so you have to cure that with an antidote as well. So just keep that, in mind. And it should be fine. Alright, I need to toss some ethers in the next fight, but that's okay. I've got 20 of them, so it should work out pretty okay. Where the hell am I going? Monster room, that's where I'm going. Well, that's fine. Yeah, like I said, I don't remember this dungeon, like, hardly at all. So, no, actually toss an ether. I was gonna teleport and then just leave the Ogre Mage to fight, but I think I'll just toss a couple of ethers so that way I have a chance to let the Ogre Mage do stuff to me. I'm running the risk of him blinding me, but it's probably okay. Yeah, that won't kill him. We can get our MP back, and then we can get some magic defense out of him. Okay, Blizzard 5 is perfect. That's the best spell that he can cast, because it gives me magic defense while also reducing my HP enough to where we might even get an HP boost out of that, so I'll take it. Also, you cooked for the first time in a while. You made burritos. Hold on, let me see if I got anything. Just HP, agility. Oh, and a Warp Tome. He also drops a Warp Tome. That's not terrible. I misspoke, by the way, previously. I said Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder was the only spells you could buy in this game that are black magic. Warp is buyable, and it's black magic as well, so you could do that too. So, anyway, cooked for first time in a while, made burritos filled with chicken with Cajun seasoning, refried beans, and some shredded Mexican blend cheese, gave boyfriend one. He said it was unironically really good. That does sound pretty good, so hopefully it, well, I mean, I would say hopefully it came out good, but your boyfriend said it was good, so I'd say it came out good. Toasted the outside of the burritos after you assembled them. That's always a good idea, I find, with thinner breads like that. It's a good idea to toast the outside because it gives them that little bit of crunch, but not to the point where it's just like a hard shell taco, you know. So, oh look, another Adamantoise. Actually, no, you use Blink on Gordon. He's gonna need it more than Maria's gonna need the Protect. So, and then we'll Blizzard, and then we'll wait to Blizzard until the next turn. Look, you wanted something nice to take to work tomorrow. Yeah, and that's a good idea because those are pretty easy to just kind of pack up and take to work. So that did 608 and it didn't kill. Wow, they have more HP than I thought they did. Okay, well, I guess we'll work on that. Why don't you cast Berserk as well, because that might get you enough to put it to level 3 and then you finish it off. If I don't cure this fight, that's fine. Okay, well, we got it off. I was gonna say if Gordon gets his attack in before I do, that's no big deal. We got it before. Okay, Maria got MP out of that, so that's good too. Gordon got a Blizzard level. She's got 42 MP now. That's actually probably good for the rest of the game for her, honestly. And she got Berserk level 3, so I don't know if it will work very well for her at the moment because she doesn't really have like high intelligence to take advantage of it, but that's kind of the point, honestly. Like I said before, I don't want it to be like super busted OP to where I'm just casting it and getting multiple stacks with 99 intelligence, so if she doesn't quite hit it as often, it means we're doing something right. Yeah, fire, because I keep looking at Guy's MP and I'm like, why is your MP so low relative to Firion? But that's because Firion got an MP increase, whereas Guy did not, so we'll just keep casting and then eventually Guy's MP will catch up. It's not like we really need to worry about it. We've got ethers, so like that will work. Be swapping to 3:30 to midnight starting tomorrow, so we won't be around for any weekday streams if they aren't holidays. All right, sounds like a plan there, Marie. I understand it's for work, so I get it, but I will keep that in mind. Got to stream during the week this week because I've got and the weekend coming up. My family wants me to go out to dinner with them. So I don't know which day, so I have to plan for both days potentially being the day I'm going out. I think this room is fake as well. Yeah. Okay, well, we didn't get any encounters. There's the door that I need to go through to get out of here, though. Or no, that's actually the way that I'm going to come back. Never mind. One of these doors is real, though, if I remember correctly. It's only one, but one of them is real, so I'm going to keep looking because I might find it in a moment. Yeah, let's do that. I guess practice Berserk some more, why not? Do a Scourge and do an attack, and that should be enough to get rid of the Ogre, maybe? Back on the subject of HP values, once the second to last fourth party member joined, everyone but Maria had 1.5 to 2k more HP than he did. You had a lot of HP by Endgame FF2. Yeah, and that's kind of one of my goals with this playthrough, was to show that you just don't need that much HP, because one of the things that irks me about a lot of people's playthroughs that they post online of Final Fantasy II is that they have like 5,000 HP or something ridiculous like that by the end game, because that was how much they needed in order to survive against the, what is it, Death Riders or Chaos Riders? I think it's Death Riders in the final dungeon, because they ignore your defense and they can hit up to 13 times, which at a 10% HP a pop will kill you if they hit you all 13 times, no matter how much HP you have. So people were dropping dead like, they're dropping like flies. So part of my goal here was to say, yeah, no, you really don't need that much. You just need to invest in evasion a little bit more. So, you know, I thought this room was going to be the one that had something in it, but it did not, so that's fine. I guess I'll get a shell off, why not? Practice another Berserk. Scourge and attack. I'll probably use an Ether on Maria as well, just so that way, because I want her to have Blink, Protect, Shell, and Berserk on her by the time we when we're fighting the boss of the area. I might not need all of that, but it will be helpful in my particular case. So, and I mean, I might as well cast Shell because Shell just helps against Ogre mages in terms of the damage that they deal, so it gives me potential to take less damage from them. So. I think the last fourth party member and Furion had almost 5k each. Guy had 9999 and Maria had around 3k. As a result, Maria was the dodge tank and your white mage since she was getting hit way less. Meanwhile, Mono here's probably going to go into the endgame fights and take only a few hits throughout the dungeon. Wizardry, I say! I mean, you're probably not wrong, Conquer, because the way that I have... I mean, Maria's already got 3 evasion, like 3 at a 99% rate evasion. So, me being at that point already in the game, like, I usually don't get the 3rd evasion level for some time yet, but not right now. Like, I usually end up at about... By the end of this dungeon, I'm definitely only at, like, 2 for any individual. But because I've been sticking her in the front row so often, she's been the one dodging most of the hits, and therefore she's getting more evasion as a result of it. So she'll probably have quite a bit by the end game. And that will make my life a lot easier, because I won't have to worry about getting ambushed or something like that, if I still get ambushed by that point in the game, and getting blasted by a bunch of Death Riders in the final dungeon, just smacking me up before I can cast Blink, so... But yeah, we'll make it work. That's the point. I think this next one has a treasure in the middle room. This one might be the one I was thinking of. It's not big. I mean, I guess we'll find out, won't we? So, take care of the Ogre, cast Scourge, and cast Blizzard. Might not even get Furion's thing off here, but that's okay. Yeah, because this will probably kill, won't it? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. More agility. Gordon got an MP increase. I'll take it. Nope, not this one either. I'm going to look and see if there's a... I know there's a map online that'll tell me if any of these rooms are real. So I'm going to look probably when I'm done here and just see if any of them are. But I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of thinking none of them are real, honestly. Let me look real quick. Hold on. Turn chat off for a second. As I said previously, friend of the show. Well, not really. I don't know the guy, but he's a friend in my book because his maps are high quality. Starfighters 676 has some in-depth maps and charts on GameFAQs for Final Fantasy II. So, or Starfighter 76, excuse me. There's no 6 at the beginning of that. What am I looking for? Kashuan Keep. There it is. We are on... There was a real door. I missed it because I went around the bend. Hold on. We gotta go back. There's another real door, actually, as well on this floor, but there was a real door, and it's on the previous floor, so let's go back. That's fine. It won't be a big deal to walk all the way back there. See, this is why I should have the maps open, though, because sometimes we might just encounter something where it's like, oh yeah, that's real. So, get the blizzard going, get the other blizzard going. Use some ethers after this. We're almost done with the dungeon, though, so, like, I shouldn't need too many more ethers to finish it up. I probably only need to throw, like, a big round of them in one battle. Like, I'll just find a battle where it's like, yeah, this one's safe enough, and then I'll just toss it to everybody. So. No more diamond shield drops for me, though. I think I used up all my streamer luck for the day already. What does this floor even look like, anyway? That's the previous floor. Oh, I can get to it from here. Okay. Alright, so we'll just go around the bend here, this way. I'll run, because that doesn't increase the encounter rate, and I've already been here, so I might as well, you know. Alright, this one I'd like to just piddle around so that this guy can just smack me upside the head. So actually, maybe this would be a good one to toss an ether, because I'm going to take some damage anyway. So, like, toss an ether for everybody, because Gordon got an MP increase as well, so... We'll just top off on our MP while we're here. Let this guy smack me up, probably with some blind, knowing my luck. That's okay. Okay, perfect. Blizzard 5 is perfect. That'll get me some HP damage. It'll give me some potential for magic defense. Oop, I didn't turn my chat back on. There we go. And we should top off on our MP. Good. Very good. Alright, and now just go to town, you two. Get used to seeing me waiting around and letting the enemies hit me with spells, by the way, because there are certain enemies later on in the game that exclusively have attacking spells like Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, or Scourge. And since those guys can only inflict damage to you, I'm actually going to just let them run their MP out on me in order to maximize my magic defense gains, because, I mean, we're slowly getting more magic defense the more we sit in here and let them wail on me with spells, so it's worth it to do that. Here we go. So in rooms that are square-shaped like this but have chests in them, the encounter rate is not increased, and it's just regular encounter rate, well, rates for the dungeon, and the treasures are usually pretty premium. As an example, one of the treasures we got is an upgrade for Gordon's weapon, and the first effective weapon that we've gotten in the entirety of the game, the Werebuster. It's another mace, it's spiked, and it's effective against werebeast enemies. So pretty much any enemy that you see that has W-E-R-E at the beginning of its name is considered a werebeast, although some of them do not have that prefix and they're still considered werebeasts. It's one of the 8 types of monsters in this game. So there's probably like a dozen enemies across the whole game that are considered werebeasts, and this weapon deals effective damage against them. When you deal effective damage in Final Fantasy II, what that means is it increases the attack power of the weapon by 20 when doing damage calculations against that particular enemy. So, effectively, I didn't see how much attack Gordon has right now with just that, but it's whatever he has with the Werebuster plus 20 when he's fighting against, for example, were-rats. It's also a pretty powerful weapon in its own right, so letting him just wail on things with that will make him a pretty effective party member. So, excuse me. What's his attack power with it right now? 33? Oh my god. So he has 53 attack power when he fights monsters that are considered werebeasts right now. That's a lot of attack power. I'll take it. Why not? I don't know if Gordon will get all the way to max HP from this party-wide cure, but that's fine. Cast Berserk again, and Scourge and attack? I don't know if that'll be enough, but that's okay. Yep, just let them exhaust themselves on MP, then kill them once they can no longer fight. It's pretty messed up. Listen, Conquer, war is hell. You gotta take advantage of the enemies doing stupid shit as much as you can. I am not willing to hit below the belt if it means we win the war. So. Oh my god, that did 200 damage on a land turtle. So now Berserk is starting to come into its own. There's an intelligence boost, so more attack power from it. Oh boy, we're starting to snowball. This is a 20-hour-long RPG, so like snowballing happens pretty quickly, and then once it happens, it's kind of hard to stop the momentum, so. Did I get a potion anywhere in here? No, I didn't. That's okay. Got a couple mithril maces and a mithril sword, though. Here's some golden armor. Another monster in a box, but golden armor. Ah, so here's the mines. Okay. At least they're not going to make me mine the mines, but that would be messed up as well. They're the same as pretty much every other bomb variety. They're vulnerable to fire and thunder. I think maybe one bomb variety in this entire game is actually vulnerable to ice, but not these ones, so. They're pretty tanky, though. They can take some physical hits pretty good. Let's see if they can take a teleport. Nope. But yeah, so as I said, fire works pretty good on them. Oh, they can get 2 hits off. That's pretty good. I'll let Gordon kind of hang out in terms of his HP there. I'll cast a Thunder on one of them and then let them clean this one up. I think they have like 240 HP, so. Oh, never mind. Don't need to cast a Thunder. Gordon got a crit. He got angry. Use that anger, Gordon. The golden armor's not really worth it. It's considered heavy armor, so it is a defense boost, and it's resistant to poison like the golden shield, but it's very heavy, so I wouldn't really bother with it. Unless you're trying to, like, influence the turn order by wearing heavy armor, which you could, like I said, but I wouldn't really personally bother with it. Alright, Berserk needs about 2 more casts to get to level 4, and then we really don't need to cast it in regular battles ever again. Outside of that, we should be able to just cast it in boss fights and it'd be fine for the rest of the game. Scourge is also almost level 4, and Gordon is just being Gordon, so that's fine. Let's see here. The way out is in the bottom left-hand corner, but the top right-hand corner has another treasure room. So, guess where we're going first? Can I go to the right from here? I can get ambushed for Blizzard 5. That's fine. I can go to the right from here. Okay, I'm just going to go to the right from here. Okay, so Gordon's taking a little bit of a beating, but I actually want him to stay lowish on HP anyway, because then he can gain some HP and stamina potentially from the encounter. So we'll let him sit there. It's fine. The funny thing is, though, about this whole setup is I was talking about, oh yeah, you know, Gordon, he's not great to start with, and now he's got the Werebuster, and he has more attack power than Maria. He's going to be hitting harder than Maria for a little while. That's obscene. Alright, so those are natural HP gains. The Scourge level increased, so that's good as well. Firion got more Spirit again. Like I said, Spirit rolls up pretty quickly, Agility does too. Like, you get some good gains in this game. And like I said before, I always get a kick out of the gains in this game because it's like a little teeny tiny dopamine rush in every fight where it happens, so. Alright, here's the second treasure room. Nothing really that great here, though, if I remember right. Mallet and Antidote and maybe a cross in this one. Oh, look, another Adamantoise. Alright, sure. Let's see how Berserk does against this one. I'm going to cast Blizzard, but I won't cast Double Blizzard. I'll just attack with this one and see how it works. I just want to see if Maria can hit for more than single-digit damage once she gets a Berserk up on herself. So. We shall see in just a moment. Oh wow, we got triple digits on a cure there. That's not terrible. Alright, Maria, go to town. And then Gordon, just do physical attacks here. Alright, she hit for double digits. That's good. I'll take it. Ow! Well, that wasn't very nice. Gordon blizzard him to death. I mean, I didn't blink, so that's why it did so much damage there, but, you know. You gotta watch. Sometimes the enemies hit pretty damn hard. Guy got agility. Gordon only got stamina, but that's fine. Okay, eye drops. I mean, those are more useful than a cross anyway in this dungeon, so. I think it's high potion time. There we go. High potions work pretty good when you've got your HP as low as this. They usually restore a pretty good chunk of HP, even outside of battle, so that's not bad. They're worth investing in, I think. They'll fall off later, but they're worth investing in for now. Alright, so I guess we'll practice the life spell. Yeah, so you remember how I said before you'd hear that whack, 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 and then the enemies might drain your health? Wraiths are the first example of enemies that can do that. Now, Wraiths can only, as far as I know, hit you one time, so it's usually not a huge chunk of HP, but wait until they can hit you like 6 or 7 times and just drain 60 to 70% of your HP in a single hit. You'll wish you raised evasion if you have that happen to you. So, yeah, just take my word for it. Evasion is really good in this game. Raise it early and don't stop. So. But we're doing pretty good all the way around, honestly. Gordon got a strength boost. We're almost done with the dungeon. We'll use some ethers just to get ourselves topped off. I think you go this way to get to the stairs. Yep, it looks like it. So. Oh, 2 ogre mages. I'm totally unprepared for 2. Right, I really don't even need to raise Scourge anymore, honestly. I could just cast like a level 5 spell and probably be in better shape, honestly. So let's just do that and do that. Well, honestly, Scourge is kind of like a fallback. If they're not weak to anything, I can cast it. Because right now, it's our only quote-unquote non-elemental damage spell. There are enemies that are resistant to it, but the vast majority of enemies right now are not resistant to any particular spells. So you can kind of just get away with casting it and not really having any problems. So incidentally, that's probably what I'm going to do, is I'm going to cast Scourge as well, because that'll maximize Guy's MP use in this fight. It probably won't kill, but I want to guarantee that he uses it, and he's the slowest of our party members, so. And I'll get hit by more Blizzard 5. More magic defense. But yeah, see sometimes how our magic defense is actually coming in handy there. Like, in that specific instance of damage, Guy's magic defense didn't block any of the blizzards, but Firion's, Maria's, and Gordon's did, and that's why they took about half the damage they would normally take, is because their magic defense actually blocked some of the spell. So. There we go, guy got some MP, perfect. Another Blind Tome and a Mithril Mace. The Blind Tomes sell for a pretty penny as well. I think they sell for like 500 gil a piece, so that's not terrible. That'll work pretty good for you. Alright, we're done with the dungeon. This door is real. The Eagle's Torch is in this room, but it's everybody's favorite boss! The guy that burned down Gatria. Oh, we love that. Alright, so let's do some restoration here. We'll use some ethers and some high potions, just so that way we can top everybody off without using cure. And then, really, you need it, and that's about it. So, and Guy's got 63 MP at maximum now, so that should be pretty great for him. Maria's basically done. I don't think she'll need MP for the rest of the game, though she might get a few just random incidental upgrades for MP over the course of the rest of the game, but she doesn't really need it, you know. So gotten a mallet, that's what threw my stuff down. Look at all this extra loot that I've got to sell off. Look at all this extra stuff that I probably wouldn't be able to carry all the way through if I was playing the original or PS1 version or Pixel Remaster version of this game. Oh boy. Do I want Gordon in the front row? Yeah, he can stay in the front row. I can cast Blink on him and Maria, and then it should be okay, I think. Alright, so why is this everybody's favorite boss? Well, let's start fighting him so that I can tell you why. Who would have thought a fire demon would be guarding a torch? Now I've seen everything. Alright, so this is the boss of Kashuan Keep, the Red Soul. Why is he such a pain in the ass? The Red Soul has 540 HP, a pretty solid defense score for this point in the game, and unlike every other boss we've fought before, where it's like, okay, they have high defense, just throw spells at them. The Red Soul absorbs all forms of elemental magic. Every single element. He even absorbs matter elemental spells and mind elemental spells. He actually gains HP if you cast teleport on him or sap or something. So you can't just sling spells at this one and expect to win. As a result of that, if you don't have Berserk or you don't have the Ancient Sword to curse him, it's a very slow slog through his 540 HP. But we have Berserk. We also have the Ancient Sword that Gordon can use, not effectively, but he can use it. So if we need to fall back on it, we can. We can equip it in battle just by going to items, scrolling up, and then pulling his mace off and giving it to him. However, we shouldn't need that because we've got other methods of dealing with this guy now that we have Berserk, so we're gonna try to do it. So let's get Berserk going first, because what he does is he has level 8 elemental spells, so he's gonna sling 4 of those at you in a row before he runs out of MP. Then once he's done with that, he'll just start attacking you physically. So I'm gonna buff up before he starts physically attacking me, let him sling the spells at me, and I'll get Berserk up so that way we can do some good damage to him once all is said and done. Unfortunately, this means Guy is not going to be doing a whole lot in this fight, so I'm just going to have him practice weapon experience, and yeah, we'll go from there. Do I want Gordon to do anything? Not really. I guess I could just have him try to whack this guy upside the head before Berserk goes off, and we can go from there. Okay, well, he did 40 damage. That's not terrible. There's what Thundaga looks like if everybody gets hit by it. Maria has the Diamond Shield, by the way, so she won't be taking a significant amount of damage from that. Just in case you're wondering why she took, like, nothing at all from that. So there you go. And Gordon, keep going. Get Protect on him, get Blink on him, get Protect on Maria. And then we'll just start attacking physically and go from there. So I guess the Werebuster kind of helps with this fight then, doesn't it? Because it's got high enough attack power to overcome this guy's massive defense stat, because Gordon isn't particularly strong and he's still doing 40 damage a hit. That's sustainable. You can do that for a decent chunk of time and be perfectly fine, so I'll cast one more time with Firion and then get Berserk up on Gordon? I don't know if it's necessary, but I guess I'll try it. Why not? And then just do this. Oh, this is going to hurt him a hell of a lot more than it's going to hurt me if these Berserks go off. There's Firaga if it's cast on everybody. He already used Blizzaga for us, so we'll get access to those spells ourselves eventually as well. Okay, 113. That's not bad at all. I'll take it. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's just have everybody go ham. Okay, 306. Yeah, we're good to go. It is not deathly weak to magic, actually. If you cast any magic on it, it absorbs all of that magic, so I won't get a chance to show you because he's already dead because of Berserk, but yeah, no, he absorbs all forms of magic. The only magic he does not absorb is non-elemental spells. So if you have access to a non-elemental spell, you could use it, but we don't. So Scourge is not considered non-elemental, it's considered poison. Matter of fact, I can show you. Hold on, let me go to the bestiary. We haven't looked at this so far, but we can use it to show you what I meant here. So let's go down to where the red soul would be. It's probably in the bosses. Oh, there he is. Okay. So we go here. So there you go, 540 HP. He's got 40 defense at this point, which is kind of tough to overcome. But if we look at his everything here, so weakness none, resistance none, absorbs lightning, ice, fire, body, poison, death, mind, and matter. Those are the 8 elements of spells. So the only spells that work on him are non-elemental spells. We don't have any at this point, so that's why we had to resort to Berserk instead. So there you go. That being said, he went down pretty easy, and honestly, I think I over-prepared because we probably could have done about 50 damage to him per round between Maria and Gordon without Berserk, but I mean, at least it wasn't a problem. And now we've got Eagle's Torch, so cool. I'll take it. Okay, so now we could walk all the way out of the dungeon, and I mean, we've got the resources to do it, but I've got teleport, so why would I ever do that? Let's just warp right out. And then high potion so that Furion's not on death's door. And then just leave it because we're going to cottage as soon as we grab the Sunfire anyway. Yeah, we should have gotten a little bit of... Okay, Guy got a little bit of magic defense out of that. And I don't think Gordon did, but just getting hit by those spells, like you have a chance of raising that right number, that percentage, just by getting hit by spells. It doesn't always work, but it sometimes does, so... Gordon's at level 6 on his stuff, so he should be pretty good for a while. And it looks like Furion and Guy both got weapon experience at some point here as well, so I'll just keep that in mind so that I can have them get to level 6 eventually. And then they should be good for the most part. They might want 1 more level's worth of weapon experience over the course of the rest of the game, but other than that, we should be fine. So. Okay, got the cure off, that's good. Didn't really need it, because like I said, I'm going to cottage pretty soon, but might as well. And then Scourge this guy to death. There's another magic defense increase. That can just happen randomly, by the way. I'm not sure why it works that way, but it can randomly happen in battles. Like, you'll just get a magic defense increase, even if there was no magic being slung at you in the fight. So, but Guy got some, so hey, I'll take it. Anyway, Sunfire's right here. We grabbed Eagle's Torch, so let's use it. And we will take the Sunfire with us. Perfect. Anybody know how we can use this to blow up the Dreadnought? Well, I guess we'll have to figure it out, won't we? But that's it for Kashuan Keep. So now, let's head on out after these Vampire Thorns get out of my way! Let's just... I can get some weapon experience from this, actually, if I do this right, so... Actually, well, I should be able to get it guaranteed, because the Vampire Thorns won't run away, and Furion and Guy are still in the back row, so... Even if the Leg Eaters run away, it's not a big deal. Because we can just leave one of the Vampire Thorns alive, and just have them attack 5 times, and then it'll be good. So, get some weapon EXP while we're here. Yeah, keep in mind the Red Soul absorbs all magic for later, because you'll encounter other Soul-type enemies later on in the game, and they also absorb all forms of elemental magic, so you won't just be able to sling spells at them to kill them. Now, the other ones are a little easier to deal with because they just don't have very much HP, and they don't have nearly as much defense as that guy, so it's a little easier to deal with those ones, but keep it in mind because Red Souls will eventually become regular enemies that you'll be able to fight. I mean, the Adamantoise was a regular enemy in this dungeon, so... Excuse me, a few dungeons down the road we might see some Red Souls. But, did I get 5 turns off? I don't remember. I'm just going to defend to make sure. This might be 6, but that's okay. It's just for insurance, just in case. But yeah, on top of the Red Souls themselves, there are other Soul enemies later on in the game that also absorb magic and will make it much harder for you to cast on them. So don't do it unless you actually want them to absorb the spell because you're trying to practice it or something. Alright, out we go. What's that sound? Oh, Cid's air... Oh, okay, that's not good. I was going to say, Cid's airship flying overhead, but... apparently his airship has done enough sailing because the Dreadnought is very upset with him at the moment. Alright. The burrito's tasty. Good, good to hear. Glad to hear it. Means you did good on the cooking process. Also, oh my god, Cid, no! Don't get grabbed by the claw! How is that even gonna work? Like, I feel like unless that arm is really strong, it's just gonna like get pulled off of the airship because the airship is not moving at a slow speed. Like, he's trying to outrun you. So you're either gonna like clamp through the wood that Cid's airship is made of and destroy the ship, or you're gonna clamp onto it and it's just gonna pull the arm right off of the Dreadnought. But anyway, yeah, they're being chased by the Empire, so we gotta do something about that too, unfortunately. But before we do that, there's a little like incline, not an incline, but like an opening in the woods here. That's actually one of the locations that showed up on the map, so we're gonna go in there in a second, but let me use my last cottage before we do that. Magnets? I mean, they could use magnets, yeah. I mean, some of Cid's airship is metal, so... Maybe it sends out an electrical... Actually, it makes no sense, too. That airship is mostly wood. Yeah, so the wood might, like, if there was any electrical field, the wood would probably insulate it. But if there was metal, it would be attracted to the metal. So, like, even if it's only a little bit of metal, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maria's got 54 MP. That's not bad, either. We'll save before we go in here. There's nothing in here that's going to kill me, but we haven't saved since before the Red Soul, so might as well. Ah! So this is why we could hear the Chocobo theme earlier, because there is exactly one Chocobo forest in this entire game. And unfortunately, there's only one Chocobo in the entire forest, so... But we can take him for a little ride. Quinfucius, take me home! And now the world is your oyster, because the Chocobo is pretty much the same as it is in every single other Final Fantasy game. The theme is a little annoying because it's basically just this 1 8-second loop. It's not like the full song like it is in later Final Fantasy games, so it's not quite as good as it is. But you don't get into any encounters while on the Chocobo, and on top of that, you can run anywhere on the landmass of the world map, and because you won't encounter anything, the Chocobo can go any old place. So if you really wanted to, you could run all the way down here to whatever this is supposed to be. You could run through the desert down here and then make a pit stop over this way, go all the way to this river and end up in Mysidia if you wanted to. Hell, you could run this way, go all the way over here, ignore the river, go past the river all the way up here and end up in Fynn if you really wanted to. I'm personally going to run back out the way I came and head up this way towards Pelum, and then just go to Altair that way, because that's our next destination, is Altair itself. But yeah, you could run anywhere on the world map at this point if you're on the Chocobo. Granted, getting back might be a bit of a problem, depending on where the Chocobo drops you off. You choose where it drops you off, by the way. You just press, I think, the circle button, and that's where he drops you off. But yeah, getting back might be a problem from wherever you go, but pretty much there's only 2 locations, well, actually there's 3, because he can't go in the snowfield, so you can't go back to the snow cave. He can't get to this island because he can't cross water, and he can't get to this island either because, again, he can't cross water. So those are the only 3 locations that you can't, and Summit Falls because he can't cross water. But those are the only 3 locations that he can't get you to in any short order. Summit Falls you could even get to by just getting to the river and then sailing up it, so anywhere you want to go, you can go on the Chocobo now. And don't worry about him, he'll get back to the Chocobo Forest even if you take him to the ends of the earth, so it's not really a huge deal. Then magic? Cutscene magic? It's cutscene magic, yeah. I don't know how an arm's gonna do that, but it's the point isn't that they're using an arm, the point is that Cid's airship is in danger, so that's the thing. Should we go back to Poft, actually? I feel like we should go back to Poft because we can see what happened with Cid, because if his airship was doing that, then, I mean, he's not going to be here, but maybe they'd be able to tell us, like, what he was doing out there. Yeah, I could see how this would piss someone off. The music, yeah, I could see it, honestly, after a while. It's just 8 to 10 seconds of this. Okay, it's the X button. That's what you use to get off of him. So there you go. Well, let's see what Cid was up to. What do you mean? She doesn't have a... Oh, She was on Cid's airship, wasn't she? Great. Well, now I know where I gotta go. We better hoof it back to Altair. Yeah, so you just get that information right away, and you can't use the airship, obviously, because, well, it's been captured. So if you were planning on using it to get back to Altair, no, you're not. But apparently the princess has been captured. Maybe she was trying to meet us somewhere, and so she just got on Cid's airship to hitch a ride because she didn't want to fly, or not fly, but like walk everywhere and have to fight the monsters. I would think she would have taken a retinue of soldiers with her, but apparently it didn't really work out because now she's captured and taken to wherever the Empire has taken her. Great! I can't imagine what His Majesty is feeling at this moment. First of all, he took an arrow to the back and he's being nursed back to health, but now he's got to deal with the stress of his daughter being captured? Like, good lord, man. Give the guy a break. He could use it at this point. Yeah, we'll just walk back. We'll take care of any monsters on the way. How are we doing on weapon experience? Okay, so I guess if I left you guys in the back row, I could get you to weapon level 6, but nah, it's okay. We'll have an excuse to put them back in the back row pretty soon, so. Do you want to try that one again, Mr. Leg Eater? Because that ambush sure didn't work out for you. God, the Werebuster's so good. Look at the damage that Gordon's inflicting versus the damage we're doing. Like, oh my lord, man. I mean, Maria's nothing to scoff at with that axe, but, like, there's only so much she can do when the attack power of the axe is limited by the fact that you could get it right after Semet falls, and she can't upgrade just yet. So, like, there's only so much she can do when you can get a weapon with 33 attack power at this point. Like, look at the damage! That's absurd at this point. Alright, those are the natural HP gains. We actually managed it so that Gordon came into the party right after Furion and Guy got their HP increase, so he gets it when they get it now. So that's kind of nice. That one saw what happened to his buddy just getting his attack blocked, and he was like, okay, I'm out of here. I will run on whatever legs I can carry that can carry me away. I don't know where their legs are. They're mostly vines, but I'll take it. Gonna start referring to the Dreadnought as the America-class airship, because it's literally bigger is better for its design. Yeah, until they realize that we're ready to blow up their engine, and then that whole gigantic tub will be blown out of the sky, so. Bigger's better until you get infiltrated, and then what good does all that metal do you, you know? But I see your point. It will be kind of funny. I'll take a rest at the end. We gotta go, you know, obviously talk to everybody about taking care of rescuing the princess, but we can do that after we take a rest. We've had a long, eventful journey to get here. And actually, we're not quite done, because I got my first Berserk Tome from the Magicians, but we didn't encounter any Magicians on our way through to get to Eagle's Torch. They are available to encounter on the lower floors in Kashuan Keep. They're also available to fight in the next dungeon, which you could probably guess what the next dungeon is, but if we don't encounter them there, I need to get another 3 Berserk Tomes, so I might be going and taking care of that off-screen. That being said, I'm not really super concerned because, like, we're gonna have tons of money. We're just gonna have a buttload of money that we can throw around at this point. Like, look at all this cash. Those are worth 2,000 gil a piece? Are you kidding me? I don't even need to go do the Snowcraft minigame. I'll just sell these. Holy hell, man. And people say the economy in this game is difficult to work with. Not in this version. So, I wonder if I sell this. How many people would I piss off if I sold the Ancient Sword because I said I wasn't going to use it ever? Well, at least not in this. Not until the bonus content. How about that? We'll just say in the bonus content I would use it, but in the regular game, no. So how many people would I piss off by doing that? Hopefully not too many. It's just a video game. Slow down, but, you know. We're over 20,000 gil again without me even having to do the minigame. The Snowcraft minigame, so that's great. Alright, restock on high potions. We'll get up to 8. Restock on these. Get to 20 with those as well. Get to 20 with these, because we know the were-rats can poison us. Don't really still need these, so I won't really worry about those, or those. And I'll get a few more Phoenix Downs. I don't think I'll need them, but I might as well. Ethers will get back to 20. And then cottages. How many do I need? 4. I think 4 is a good amount, and that's perfect because I have just enough money to do that. Good. Good. That'll work. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll hold on to the Ancient Sword for now, but I don't foresee myself using it, so I might get rid of it at some point just because it's just money that's just sitting in my inventory doing nothing at the moment, you know, so. Alright, let's go check in with everybody, see what they have to say about the princess getting captured. Yeah, I could see how the structural weaknesses of the rest of the town would be a problem because we haven't had a chance to rebuild, so. Well, why did she want to board the ship anyway? What was the purpose? Yeah, it is. We're going to use it to blow up the Dreadnought. Ah, so this is how you find out where the Dreadnought is. You remember that golden blip that was on the southeastern section of the map, and it was like, I don't know what the hell that is. That's the Dreadnought, and the map actually shows you where it has docked. This supply base to the north of Fynn is where the Dreadnought has docked, and that's where we got to go, so that's the plan. I should talk to the king first, though, to let him know we're going to rescue his daughter, so. Let's go do that. I don't think there's going to be anybody in... Well, maybe that old dude that keeps mocking me for being an idiot will have something to say. So, let's see what he has to say here. Yeah, so there's a couple of NPCs that'll tell you where to go. So. Naturally, of course. Well, okay, I'll show you for what you think about that in a minute. I'll come back after I'm done blowing it up, and then we'll see what you say. That is the plan, yes. Okay, but that's what we do. We're literally the front vanguard of a lot of the assignments at this moment because we've been the most successful agents she has. Why? Okay, anyway, so we have the Sunfire now? Okay, anyway, we'll, oh, you know, you might tell me where the Dreadnought's docked, actually, as well, so that might be what they're telling you to do here. Yeah. Yep, and we happen to know where that is, so... Yes, sir, we will do that. Alright, so, with all of that being said and done, we can head on out to rescue Hilda. However, the base of operations that they were talking about is actually to the north of Fynn. So, let's take a look at our map real quick, and you may remember from previously, we infiltrated Fynn, and we couldn't go into the castle. I can actually show that because we're going to go past there. But the town of Fynn had captains in it that I said, you probably shouldn't fight these guys, they're too tough at this point. As it so happens, at this point in the game, you are just strong enough, especially with Berserk, to be able to take out these captains. And they have another drop that I'd like to get from them, so I'm going to attempt to grab it, and we will see what we can do about that. So we'll spend a little bit of time getting it, and then I'll head up to the Dreadnought if we don't get it in any short order. Although, not getting it, and or rather trying it for the next, I don't know, 15 minutes and then stopping, might not be a bad idea, because that'd also give me an excuse to go up to the Snowcraft and do the stuff before we go to the Dreadnought, so maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, anyway, we'll take these guys out while we're here. I like where our HP values are for everybody. Maria's still not, like, above Therian in terms of her stamina, but everybody's kind of in a good place with their HP. It's where I'd expect them to be at about this point in the game, and they're all pretty even, all things considered, so. Okay, Therian and Guy in the back row. I'll save in town. And this captain, this poor captain right at the front of the town is about to get bullied for a little while. So, let's just see what we can do with them. The captains have pretty good drops, though. They drop a couple of tomes that you can use, and they drop a couple of good weapons that you can use as well, if I remember correctly. Although I don't think any of the weapons they drop are things we specifically can use effectively. I think one of them is a bow, and one of them is a sword, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but yeah, we'll see. We probably won't be doing significant damage with our weapons without Berserk against them, but we can always teleport them to death, so... Hey! Why don't you say that to my face, sir? Alright, let's cast Blink to start with. We'll get Protect on Gordon since we're casting Blink on Maria. And then, I don't know, just go to town, I guess. Smack them upside the head if possible. Alright, we got those off before he could attack. That's good. The captains do have access to the bow 3 spell, though, so they can, be pretty powerful if you're not careful. But if you can get Blink and Protect up, you probably should be pretty safe, so... Keyword there being probably. So, yeah, keep casting Scourge, why not? And you don't have to do all this, by the way, that I'm doing here. I'm just doing it to get a little extra experience, because these captains are, I think, rank 4 enemies, if I remember right. There's bow 3. Yeah, not too bad. And, yeah, you don't have to do all this. I'm really just doing it for the experience. But you could just teleport them to death and then go from there, so... Which I might just do. Although, now that we've got all that stuff up, let's just wail on them and see if we can get some weapon experience for everybody. Get everybody up to 6. I'll probably cast Berserk on Maria, though, just so that way she can do a little more damage. Because these captains have 750 HP. More HP than the boss that we just fought, so... Yeah, we probably won't be able to clip through that very easily. I was going to say, as Gordon gets a crit and just smashes right through that, but he only did 33, so yeah, no, we're not smashing through that very easily. Let's see if Maria can do it now. Oh, yeah! Very nice. 463, I'll take it. So if they drop Gil, that means they did not drop any, oh good, more MP. That means they did not drop any, equipment for you. However, they do not disappear from the battlefield. They're just kind of there still. I love how I said Maria doesn't need any more MP, and she's got the most MP out of anybody. She's just getting a lot of those little incidental upgrades, and everybody else is just kind of not, but that's fine. It's no big deal. But yeah, so you can fight these captains as many times as you want, as long as you have the halfway decent equipment, and if you get to the point where you're low, excuse me, sir, you could just go back across the lake, go to Gatria, rest at the inn, and then come back. So, because they give good Gil, and they also give good equipment that you can sell for Gil, if you get to the point where you're a little hurt and you need to rest and recharge. So there you go. As for what they drop, let me actually look up. The item that I actually want them to drop is the Toad Tome, because we can get that later, but I would like to get it for Guy sooner rather than later if possible. I mean, I guess it's not necessary, but maybe I'll try to get them to drop it. Let's see. Let me see where you get it otherwise if they don't drop it for me. Captain... Okay, so they can drop a flame bow, which is an upgrade to the mithril bow by a wide margin. It's like 2 upgrades over the mithril bow. So if you have a bow user, there you go. They drop golden armor, not particularly good at this point. They also drop a curse tome, which we'll gain access to soon afterwards, but the Toad Tome is the real prize. You don't get access to that normally until quite a bit later, actually. Well, I guess not quite a bit later. And it is available from a chest, so maybe I don't need to have them drop it for me, honestly. Maria's trying to be the stereotype the devs wanted her to be and is gaining MP. Yeah, something like that, yeah. She's like, nope, I mean, I was made to be a mage, so I'm gonna be a mage. Fair enough, we've got enough ethers to sustain ourselves. I'll fight these guys 2 more times, how about that? I won't bother, because I was thinking about using them to get a Toad Tome, but I already had enough luck with the Diamond Shield and the Berserk Tome today, so like, yeah, I don't think it's necessary. Because we'll get a Toad Tome later anyway. It would be nice for a guy to be able to practice a spell that, like, doesn't damage enemies, but it's okay. We don't need it. So I'll fight them a couple more times, and then, well, this guy specifically, a couple more times, and then if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, you know? Sometimes it just won't work out. That's fine. Alright, so Blink, we'll get Protect going. That way Maria's got some defense, and Gordon's got some defense. We'll do a Scourgera, and just whack them upside the head. Play whack-a-mole with them. I think I got my unarmed and shield levels and knife and shield levels up last time, though, didn't I, on the last fight that we did with them. So I don't need to have them physically attack again. I can just kind of go from here. And just do that. Get a Protect on yourself just in case. And other than that, yeah, I don't know. I guess just defend for now. And we'll just go from there. Uh-huh. Are you sure about that? He's really trying to hit me. It's not really working out now that I have Blink up, but he's giving it a try. You know, and the reason why Maria might have gotten MP there is because she used 14 MP in that last fight. That was a significant chunk of her MP, and it still is. So, like, that would probably explain why she got so much. She had to cast 2 Protect spells and then a Berserk. So, like, yeah, that'll do it. And then just let them wail on him. Hell, if Maria keeps wailing on him, she might even get some more weapon experience. So. And more MP. Gordon got HP, strength, and stamina out of that. That's funny. I don't know why she's getting so much, but it's fine. Like I said, Furion and Guy will get some more eventually anyway. So, and really, they don't need much more to be effective. They'll gain more incidentally as they go, but yeah. So Maria can be at 79 MP. Now I'm saying that, but knowing my luck, the next battle she's gonna get more MP again. But you know. Forgot to ask what the F are the mind, matter, and body categories of magic. So those are the status magics. Body elemental spells affect an enemy's physical being. So like if you use blind on them, you're blinding their eyeballs. If you use silence on them, you're preventing them from speaking. So anything that affects their body specifically is a body elemental status spell. Mind elemental spells affect their brain, so like anything that affects their ability to concentrate or affects their ability to cast spells is probably considered mind elemental. So like sap is mind elemental because it drains MP, fog is mind elemental because fog causes amnesia. As for matter elemental spells, almost all of the instant death spells in the game except for death fall into the matter elemental spell category. Anything that alters the molecular biology of the enemy. So like if you turn them into a toad, if you teleport them to another dimension, if you warp them to another dimension, if you mini them, anything like that, that's considered a matter elemental spell because it's altering their molecular biology, the geometry of their bodies. So at a fundamental level. And then the death is the other status element. Death is just the death spell. Like there are no other spells in that category other than death. So, you know, I think we're good. I think we'll just do the last fight right now. You prefer the binds in Etrian Odyssey? Not gonna lie. Yeah, the binds, from what I've heard in Etrian Odyssey, are pretty damn good. They have some pretty powerful effects. So, I might not even cast Protect this time. I might just cast Berserk and then go ham. Honestly. Like, I feel like that would work a little bit better. And maybe just have Guy, like, keep casting so he can get some MP. Blink I will cast, though, because that'll allow us to actually dodge his hits. Unlike that, bye, Gordon. Oh my god. Well, I guess I can cast Life now as well. Alright, fair enough. There's the first death of the run, so that's fun. I guess I'll cast Blizzard as well. He doesn't have to be up for this next fight, but, you know, she probably only got 1 stack of Berserk from that. It's hard to tell because, you know, she's got the aura from Berserk, but it doesn't say how much she got, you know, so. But that's okay. I'll cast Blink on Gordon as well. We'll recast Berserk, and then... Yeah, you cast 1 more spell. How about that, Guy? We'll just have you cast Fire, and then this Gordon just do your thing. Okay, so now Maria's going to get another MP increase because I know how this works. But that's fine. Okay, bye again. Oh my god! Maybe I should just leave him on the floor for now. Maybe that would be better. Maybe it would be easier. Okay, there we go. That's better. Yeah, first in-battle death, to be clear. That's true. Yeah, because we died, you know. Well, I guess technically all of us died in the first battle of the game, but that was scripted, so, like, kind of hard to avoid that one, you know. So, okay, actually, this gives me a convenient way to actually use the sanctuaries, because normally I don't get to use them very often at all, because I'll just cast Life. But instead of that, let's show off what happens if you actually use one, shall we? Because it should still be intact. Gatria got shelled by the Dreadnought, but not that badly, to the point where the building fell down, you know. So, yeah, and also, considering the other out-of-battle deaths, I mean, you know, Joseph died. We've had a whole bunch of other people die just from the Dreadnought and all that other stuff. So that's just the first in-battle death that occurred outside of the scripted intro. So I wonder if Gordon got healed from that. Nope. Okay, good. Gives me an excuse to go take him to the sanctuary then, and then I can just, I don't know, high potion him or something. Alright, take him to church. Return from the dark plane at which you are hiding. Stop hiding, you spoony bard. Alright, Gordon's back to the realm of the living. That's good. He's only got 1 HP, but we can handle that. And that'll get cured to level 5. Alright, perfect. That's fine. I can deal with that. And then a high potion for good effort, and we can just spend 150 gil to fix that, although I also now need to heal Firian's MP, but I guess I have cottages for that, so I can just walk towards where the Dreadnought is, and then that's it, you know. High potion over here. Hell, I could buy another ether if I really wanted to be. Like, yeah, no, I got plenty of money, but it's fine. Alright, so the captains didn't drop the Toad Tome for us. That's okay. Like I said, we'll get it a little bit later. It's just... It's later enough to where it's a little inconvenient for Guy because he doesn't have any spells that are non-damaging to practice for quite a while because you don't get non-damaging black magic spells in this game for a little bit. So it's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. You know, we'll make it work. It's fine. So level 6, level 8, level 6, level 6, and almost 7. The thing I need to work on now, I guess, is getting Maria up above level 8 on her weapon experience, which shouldn't be too hard to do. So we'll try to work on that as we go. Oh, that's a nice animation. Yeah, it's nice. It's a little just kind of... It's like the life spell, but it's a little more elaborate, I guess. So, Headbind stops all actions that use parts of your skull. Horns protruding from your head. Eye beams, all are blocked by a Headbind. Also lowers magic defense. Armbind lowers physical accuracy, think strength. Also prevents attacks to use your arms and hands. Legbind lowers your speed and evasion and prevents any actions to use your leg, including the escape command. Yeah, those are... elaborate, but what I would expect from like a binding move for a specific body part, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna run from these guys. These guys are fodder at this point, so. I love how Maria and Guy have the same amount of MP at this point. Oh, I didn't show you can't go into Finn Castle. Let's show that. So if you rush up against it, I'm pressing up and you can't go in at the moment. They've got the gates locked, so. Hornets ambushing me, huh? Yeah, something tells me that's not going to work out for you. You know, pretty soon, at the rate we're going, Gordon's going to have more HP than Guy eventually. That's kind of sad, actually. Alright, so the way that we're going in order to get to the Dreadnought... Now, you could go south from the Chocobo Forest and go... Like, if you go back to the Chocobo Forest over here, you go all the way down this way, go past this section, because that's all of Palamecia right there, and then go down this way. The Dreadnought is parked down here. However, because the world map curves in on itself, you can actually go northwest of Finn and go up this way and just end up there anyway. So then you don't have to use the Chocobo, because the enemies in the desert of Palamecia are very powerful, like much more powerful than what we should be fighting at this point in the game. Whereas the enemies going northwest of Finn are the same sorts of things that we fought in the bottom sections of Kashuan Keep, the Ogre Mages, the Forest Rakkus, potential for an Adamantoise encounter, that sort of stuff, so... It's, I think, the intended way that you're supposed to go, but you can go the other way if you really choose to. So. Yep, so imagine fighting spiders that can entrap you in a web and inflict a full bind on your entire party. I hope you have status resistance, because holy hell. Thought that was how you're supposed to reach the Dreadnought. You will die in that desert. You will die in that desert, but you can go that way if you really want to. Matter of fact, I think the official Nintendo Power Strategy Guide told you to take the Chocobo through there, if I remember correctly. Because that was the way I used to go when I was a kid. I'd just get the Chocobo and go straight there. Instead of going back to Altair to find out where I had to go, the guide just said, hey, so the princess has been captured and she's over here, so go there. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? So, let's keep raising Scourge, why not? I've got it, so I might as well use it. Again, enemies that are weak to Scourge have a lot of HP and a lot of defense, so having it at a high level will not hurt us. Neither will having a high level teleport either, so... At the moment, it's one of only 2 instant death attacks I have. The other one is life, and that only works on specific enemies, so... Don't do it, it's not worth it. Yeah, no, it isn't, honestly. Like, if you go through with the Chocobo, you won't get into any encounters, but... That's also not worth it, because then you're not getting the experience from the fights that you could be doing on your way there, you know what I mean? So, like, you should probably take advantage of the fact that you can get into fights on the way there. Because that's stats that you're leaving on the table that you won't be getting because you're not fighting. So. You know, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think were-rats are considered were-beasts. We can check that, I think, in the bestiary. Hold on. Let's go look. Where are you at? Here you are. Can we see that in here? No? Okay, it doesn't show us what type of enemy they are. But I'm not sure if they're considered were-beasts. I know that's bizarre because they have it in their name, but I'm not sure if they are. Because that would have done a lot more damage if they were. Like, it would have done closer to 300-ish damage if they were. But it did not. So that's a little... I mean, it's fine, you know, whatever, but... It's less than I thought I was going to get out of that. Alright, Gordon, whack that magician upside the head. Use the melee attacks to defeat the magician. And that's 2 magicians, so that's 2 potential drops we can get right there. Let's see what they give me. Come on, baby, big money. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. There's another Berserk Tome, perfect. Oh, baby. Do I give it to Gordon? He's doing so good without it. I'm not sure if I give it to him, honestly. Like, if he's one of the 4 that I would give a Berserk Tome to in this game. But maybe I don't, and I just hold on to it, because he's doing so good with the Werebuster without needing Berserk that I'm not sure if I should. And I mean, if we're quite honest, I really only need 2 Berserk Tomes. I need one for Maria and one for one other the fourth character that we'll be getting at the very end of the game, but they'll make good use of it when we get them, so. The other 2 that I was going to use on are Gordon and one other temporary character that we'll be seeing pretty soon. So. Ow! Quit it. Okay, so I think you 2 can probably just annihilate these guys from full with your current damage output, but yeah, we'll cast Scourge anyway. Yeah, Berserk Tomes aren't really too hard to get from Magicians, honestly. They drop them fairly frequently in my experience. It's like their first drop. Like, if we go to the Bestiary, we can look at all the things they can drop, and I think it's like the first thing they can drop, so... Where are you guys at? Probably closer to the bottom. There you are. Yeah, see, it's the first treasure that's available on their list. So those treasures go in order of rarity. So, like, the Berserk Tome is the most common one they'll drop, then the Scourge Tome, then the Thunder Tome, then the Fire Tome, then the Stun Tome, which is a body elemental spell that inflicts paralysis. It's temporary status, I don't like it that much. And then the Mage's Staff, which is technically an upgrade from what Gordon has, but it's not effective against werebeasts, so... It's not as good as I would like it to be, especially considering the fact that the Dreadnought has a werebeast in it that's otherwise very powerful that he can kill in one hit with his current setup, so, yeah. Excuse me. You've never seen a Mage's Staff drop from those guys? Yeah, I could definitely see that being a thing, because, like, Mage's Staffs don't drop very often. You get one for free, if I remember correctly, in one of the dungeons coming up, but... They don't drop very often from those guys. Actually, why don't you not hit the Forest Rackus? Let's have Guy do that, because it should be more vulnerable to Scourge. If he even gets the spell off before Gordon goes ham. Okay, well, the Forest Rackus has high defense, so it's fine. Cast Shell just because, cast Scourge because Poison Cloud. I think Forest Rackus have about the same HP as a... Oh, good, Gordon got an agility boost, nice. About the same amount of HP as an Ogre Mage, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, whatever. It's fine. We got them all the same, so... Almost there. A couple more encounters and we should be where we need to be here, so... I don't... Like I said, I don't know if these things absorb... They wouldn't absorb poison, but they'd probably be resistant to it, so... I'm just gonna not use Scourge on them, and then we'll just go from there. Oh good, more agility for Gordon. That's 2 battles in a row he got agility, so that's not terrible. I'll take it. Alright, so this forest is an indicator that you're basically there. And there it is, the Dreadnought. We've found it. I guess I'll cure everybody, although I think Maria's going to get an HP boost from this fight, so maybe I won't. And then, Okay, never mind. Gordon, you can just kill it. That's fine. And get another agility boost. Okay. I guess the agility boost passed from Maria to Gordon, although she's not really anything to sneeze at either. She's got 39 agility just by herself without any other additional boosts. So, yeah, that'll work out. That's a massive docking station for that thing, and no one noticed that being built. Well, consider where it is in the world, though. Like, they bombed Fynn, so there's, like, nobody anywhere near this region. And the only people that would notice it are the Palamecians, and this dreadnought directly benefits them. Like, there's nobody that lives up here. The closest town is over here, or down here, and this one's being subjugated by the Empire as we speak. Dist over here has its own problems, so they might have noticed it if it wasn't for something else. And Mysidia, they have a tendency to keep out of the affairs of everyone else. So, yeah, just consider where it was built, and that'll tell you why nobody noticed it being built, you know? So that's why. All right, but anyway, we've got a big day ahead of us. We've got to take out the Dreadnought while we're here. We're going to just rest up in a cottage. We'll use these cottages multiple times as we dismantle this thing piece by piece. I'm going to go through it a couple of different times. So, like, my main goal at first is to get the princess and Cid out of their jail cells. That's our first objective. Our second objective is to blow up the engine, but that's going to take a little bit longer, and we might need a refresh in between. So what I'll do is I'll go in, I'll find the princess and Cid, I'll rescue them, then I'll come back out, I'll refresh myself with the cottage, and then I'll go back in, and I'll go through the rest of the dungeon. I think I can do that. I gotta check and make sure that's the case, but we'll do that on the next episode of Final Fantasy II, the Stream Edition, which will actually be happening on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Cole is ready. He has told me he will be ready to do the Portal 2 stream this Tuesday, the first stream of the co-op mode. So that's what we're going to do on Tuesday. We're going to do the co-op mode of Portal 2. We'll start that, and then we'll do that whenever he has time. He said Tuesdays he'll be prepared, but we'll do it whenever he has time, and then the other 2 streams for each week will be Final Fantasy II stuff, and we'll just continue putzing along with both of them until one of them gets done. Portal 2 should get done first, because it should only be about 3 streams for the co-op mode, and then Final Fantasy II will get done later, because I not only have to get through the regular mode, but also Soul of Rebirth, so there's quite a lot more to do in this one. But we'll get there. Either way, that's it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one, which will be, as I said, on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tuesday's the technically next stream, but that's for Portal 2. So, until either one of those, everybody, take care, and have a good one. I would say let's hope the Emperor's hanging out on this ship, because then we could dismantle him while we're at it, but we all know he doesn't do his own work. He has minions to do that for him. He doesn't set foot outside of Palamecia, because why would he? So, that's one thing I can't do, but at the very least I can get rid of his overgrown toy.